god, we can totally make one of these.
I don't even think I'm enjoying this.
No, I like it.
And we did, and it's fantastic.
I adore this game. It is perfect.
The following is brought to you by loudspeak.com.
Episode 196 of the ChairShot Podcast is here. We're back to talk a mental week in wrestling and all the other usual fun games that we talk about that's oftentimes more fun than wrestling. I'm one of your hosts, Barry Murphy, battling a mean case of heartburn today.
Battling Barry Murphy.
Throw that out to the listeners. I just had some delicious homemade pizza, courtesy of Barry Ma'am. It's good stuff, but it's coming back up on me now a little bit.
Just get out the box herself and everything.
How dare you?
Oh,
how dare you? Anyway, that little insolent voice you just heard pepping up there and you know, charring reputations like nobody's business was one Mr. Joe Towner.
I'm nothing if not an iconoclast.
Mm.
I'm also eating a mini egg.
Wait, hang on, what kind of mini egg?
What do you mean?
Is it like those ones? It's like a bag of mini eggs and they're crispy on the outside. It's one of them, is it?
Yeah, Cadbury mini eggs.
Oh yeah, they're the best. They're great. I love them. Yeah. I still haven't had those things that are like it's an egg and it's like an arrow inside and you get a free spoon.
Oh yeah, I had a look at them.
Yeah, I don't like bubbly arrow chocolate though, so I don't know if I'd bother.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to use a spoon. I just want to put it in my mouth.
Yeah, just eat it.
Just swallow it whole.
Yeah. Don't even see. And also with us, starting out the crew, also a ever dependable host, you're a journalist, Barry, come on, is Mr. Paul Griffin.
I also don't like spooning. I just want to ride in my mouth, please.
Oh, I see what you've done there. Sex.
When the sky turns black, it don't matter.
Are you aware that is not the SmackDown theme anymore?
Yeah, because I saw you WWE put up a little clip where they're like, here's a new song.
For the new awful song.
Completely dreadful, yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't even sure what that was the theme song to. Anyway, I just kind of...
Because they don't use it as a theme song. It just cut to the ads. It don't matter, but now coming up, it's Dolph Ziggler because he's not on Raw. Yeah, it's weird.
I actually watched some SmackDown this week. We'll talk about that in a bit. I watched the Batista bits.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I heard it was good. And it was, in fact, interesting.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler came out. Anyway. Boy oh boy do we have a show for you listeners.
Do we?
Kind of. It will be a show.
It's the show.
I have very little energy and I don't have an excuse as to why because I've done nothing all week.
Me too.
I'm feeling very lethargic. It's almost... Yeah. I mean... I don't know what's up with me. Let me pour myself a cup of serious Coke here, brothers. On air.
You know, this week I've decided, number one, that I really like cherry Coke.
Oh, God.
And number two...
I have an email about cherry Coke, by the way, listeners. I'm going to stop tweeting things.
And number two... I've decided that I don't like cherry Coke anymore, so I'm not drinking it anymore.
Wait. Go back, because I lost my train of thought because I spoke in the middle of that. You like cherry Coke and you don't like it. Tell me more.
Yeah, in the span of a week, I decided I really like it, and I've also gone off it right away. I don't know, it tastes too artificial, I think. It doesn't taste...
natural, like real Coke.
I know, shock horror, Coke doesn't taste natural. But I don't know, it just tastes really chemically, and I just got sick of it.
I think it's because Coke is like a constant in everyone's lives. It's an iconic taste that everyone knows and recognizes. You could put out, here's new cherry drink, and you go, oh, okay, I'll have some cherry drink. But you call something Coke, and it's you don't want it to be anything other than Coke.
I think I'd still be alright for the odd sup. I think that'd be fine. But once you have like even a can, once you get like 3 sups in, you're like, ugh, I don't want to drink this anymore.
When are they going to start selling drink by the sup?
What you should have in the shop is just a tap that you stick your head under.
Yeah.
I seem to recall this is one of those references I used to make it's been a while, but I used to make these all the time. When shops used to sell them little tiny tins of 7-Up that were like 2 mouthfuls, and they were like 25 cents. And it would be much easier. It'd be much easier to guilt your mum into buying you one with the shopping. Look at it; it's like 20p, and it's not bad for my teeth. I couldn't even dissolve one tooth with this. They don't make those anymore.
I remember that.
That should be one of those things that all those ye old sweet shops that like they get all refreshers and stuff. They should get in little tiny cans of Coke and stuff.
They'd be fairly expensive though.
They have brought in those sort of Red Bull style cans now though.
Yeah. There's also those Pepsi Max cans that are bigger, and they're kind of
like them.
Yeah, they kind of look like a beer can, and so I always feel self-conscious when I'm walking up the road, sort of coming from university, holding what looks like a beer can, especially because Rag Week's next week. I look like a right little fucking.
I don't think they taste right for some reason. I think it might be psychological because I know it's Pepsi Max in it, but when I get like halfway through, I just something about it is different. Something about it is off. I don't know whether it's because it's bigger, it goes flatter more quickly or something. I'm not sure. But
maybe it's because it's a large €1 can of Diet Cola, and so you prepare yourself to think that it's just cheap shit.
Yeah,
maybe that's a psychological thing. Thinking things.
Yeah, so I've had a very extremely busy week.
Yeah.
First of all, I applied for 2 promotions. I think I spoke about that in the last few weeks. I applied
Ring of Honor and who else?
Well, you've ruined one of my jokes.
Oh, that's a shame. That would have been a barnstormer.
Because I was going to do a feature of top 3 promotions.
That time I got to be copy boy.
For those wondering, it would be WWF would be number 1. So yeah, I applied for 2 promotions the last few weeks at work. Excuse me, still very burpy. I've just been at McDonald's today. Went for the large quarter pounder.
Relapse after going.
Large quarter pounder meal with an extra large fries and Dermot McFlurry.
They do extra large fries now.
Yeah,
like super size.
No, an extra large fries.
Oh.
So it's in 2.
Yeah, it was a 2.
Oh jeez.
That's an extra large fries then.
You know when they ditched the super size because they got bad publicity and like it just needs to be healthy. Why don't they also say, sorry, are you buying that for someone else?
It should be like when you go into a supermarket and try to buy 2 things with paracetamol in it, where they're like,
yeah, exactly.
Sir, we can't give you two chips because you'll die of it.
Although maybe with Paul, it's like one of those things where when they're like, you have to buy 2 seats if you're a big lad, and they're like, well, look, he can take it. He can take an extra large chip, as it were.
So yeah, so I'm just a little bit burpy today. If I pause mid-sentence, it's because of that.
Yeah.
So I applied for the 2 promotions. So on Monday this week, I had a Microsoft Excel exam, which went pretty well.
Ooh.
That sounds like the most horrifying experience ever.
Well,
Microsoft.
I'm pretty good at Microsoft Excel. I know my VLOOKUP, my pivot tables, and all that malarkey. So it was alright. I had an interview on Thursday. Then on Wednesday, I had a presentation to do. It was like I was back in university. So in the morning, I whacked together a 21 slide presentation based on basically training that I would do were I to get a promotion. And I also had a little role play to do there. Not the sexy kind, but it was alright. That went pretty good. And then Thursday I had an interview, again, for the second position. And so that went well too, so I was all happy. And then Thursday I find out that my mum is in the hospital. And she's been there ever since. She's not well.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't push her down the stairs or anything, don't worry.
I
can't go to McDonald's!
I don't know why you'd bring that up. I wasn't thinking that.
Say that, yeah. I wasn't going to.
I mean, ignore then. And so on Friday I actually got offered both positions. That was pretty good. So I have a new.
Did you take them both?
No, unfortunately, they wouldn't let me.
Oh.
They're like, we want you just to take this one of them.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll do that then. So I actually didn't say anything to because I know that there was some people going for the other one that I also got offered but didn't take. So I didn't want to be coming out and going, oh, well, they actually wanted me to do that, but got offered too many jobs. So yeah, starting Tuesday, I've a new job at work, so I'm getting a few
Still
extra
gonna have
fun
4
days.
hours a day to watch Pokemon, or
I don't watch Pokemon. I watch Adventure Time at work.
oh, sorry, yeah.
So yeah, get your priorities, Joe. No, I'll probably be a little bit busy. Although I know that there's some late shift work. Like for the first month and a half, I'll be doing pretty much the same shift I do now, and I'll be doing later. So for the later one, I'll probably have some time to watch wrestling and movies and stuff. And at the same time, an extra $4,000 a year. That's not
Ooh.
bad. Yeah. Well, I'll accept that pretty much. So I went into the hospital yesterday just to see what was going on. She was alright. Give her the good news. So then we went off today, myself and my mother, to celebrate this achievement with the breaking of quarter pounders, and all was good.
The breaking of quarter pounders.
Yeah.
What do you mean the breaking of them?
Isn't that didn't Homer say that in some episode? Let us celebrate when they agree to go to Itchy and Scratchy Land. What's the line he has? Let us celebrate this agreement with something of something. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Is there something like the fusion of peanut butter and jelly or something like that?
Well, the fusion of burgers and my gut. There you go.
Yeah, the classic Simpsons line, yeah. Anyway.
When I get started Simpsons, that will be the line that I give.
Yeah.
Sorry, Homer. Fusion the gut and that. Yeah, see you. Have a good day. So it's been a good week for me. I've not watched too many movies though because of that, because I've been extremely busy and tired.
Yeah, busy with that first week where you have to act like you're worthy of the promotion, and then you get down to the actual movie watching.
They're like, Paul, we want to know how many movies can you get in a day if we're doing this job. And I was like, well, here's my track record, lads. I watched 6 episodes of Simpsons that one day the other week. So I'm more than capable, is what I'm saying. Like, oh, lovely. We see on your CV here that you watched 8 movies the other week. Yeah, easy. I think I watched 2 this week. One on Sunday and one today, so I didn't actually watch any during the week. And none of them were particularly good. So there you go. What do you guys get up to this week? Any mad endeavours?
No.
I do not believe so, no. I kind of had a busy, not a super busy week, but I had lots of calls to make and emails to send pertaining to my final year project. But, it's alright. What else did I do this week? Not a whole lot, because I'm trying to be conservative and hold on to my money, because next week is Rag Week, so...
Alright.
So, yeah.
What's Rag Week again? I can't remember.
Rag Week is a week of charitable events that are held by universities in the name of raising and giving. That's what it stands for, RAG. Although
I never knew that.
I never knew that.
No.
Oh, well, it's not called that anymore. I'll tell you why. In University of Limerick, which I attend, it is known as Charity Week. And the reason... And the reason is because people who aren't students were getting wise to the fact that, hey, Rag Week is coming up. Those twats are going to go mental and wreck the place again like they do every year. And so, to kind of fix the very bad image it has around these parts, its name was changed to Charity Week to emphasize the charity. And as you just proved, not a lot of people knew to begin with that Rag Week meant raising and giving. They assumed it was just Mental Students Week, which it still is, but they've put a PR twist on it. So
but the name though.
Yeah, the name. Come on, look at this. But look at the name. It's fine. I did see someone, a politician. He was boasting about this earlier in the week. There is a dedicated phone line for residents of the sort of the housing estate near the university. They can ring this dedicated phone line for Rag Week related antics, whether it's a noisy house party or someone being drunk and disorderly or antisocial.
Does it go through to the police? Or?
Well, it's a mobile number, so
is it one police mobile number?
But he was claiming this victory that he had arranged this, or his party had arranged this, rather. So, I don't know if it's like, if they went out and bought, like, the wire, they bought a 10 quid burner and put it in the police office. Said, look, lads, if anyone rings on this one, it's some grumpy old fucker complaining that there's a house party next door that's really loud, and just, you know, So just beware. But yeah, honestly, half of my class is like, we need to have a great ragweek. It's our last one because we're fourth year students, and the other half is like, I have a million things. I have a million things to do. Which
charity week?
What's up?
Cunts helping and increasing riches.
You've already misspelled charity week.
I'm thinking of chair week. What an idiot!
But yeah, I mean, there's there's quizzes and a bucking bronco and all the other usual stuff. It's also PlayStation are coming here giving away a PS4 at some stage next week to my campus, so I need to be around when that happens. That's my only plan for all of next week.
More like Barrety week, am I right?
Yeah, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, that's the main reason I haven't done a whole lot this week, because
that's fair.
I'm trying to get ahead of the work so I can actually enjoy myself next week, with middling results. I watched some stuff. I watched a movie. I watched some telly, played some video games, the usual stuff I do when I'm not working or drinking. So yeah. What about you, Joe?
I've actually watched a lot of wrestling this week, so.
Really? So have I actually. I've watched that. I'll
join in the older wrestling discussion. I've also been catching up with True Detective and Girls, 2 HBO shows, so I'm up to date with them.
I'm not up to date, but I'm in the process of getting up to date with True Detective. In fact, it's starting to kick up a little bit now, so I'm probably going to watch the 2 or 3 episodes I'm behind. Watch them next after this show.
I would, yeah.
I've never watched Girls.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't want to watch Girls either.
Well, hang on. I didn't say I don't watch
the main one is a fat lesbian-looking one, so not
interested.
What?
What's that got to do with anything?
That's a bit sexist and homophobic.
It is. If by a bit you mean absolutely, then yes.
Yeah, concrete sort of
homophobia is definitely both of those things.
Well, when I hear that a TV show is called Girls, I expect there to be.
Well, there are girls in it, so.
Well, not that I've seen so far.
It's going to be something that's like written by Joe Brand.
Speaking of fat lesbian, Joe Brand.
Oh God.
Paul.
No,
I tell you what, though,
I joke.
Apologise.
I joke.
Filthy,
I joke.
edgy comedy.
What I missed this week because I was too busy catching up on True Detective, I bloody missed. I missed Ant and Dec Saturday Night Takeaway.
Oh.
I didn't realise the Attitude Era of ITV Saturday Night Telly was back.
That's like the bit Benoit.
I like the bit where they get a member of the public to do something funny.
I like the bit where they get Ant and Dec, who they must be on their 3rd or 4th set of Little Ant and Dec. Sorry, I messed that up. They get Little Ant and Dec to interview celebrities and say wacky things. Still
doing that? Oh
yeah, but they obviously they have to change every couple of years. Yeah. I assume because the children are dying. But they
are actually fed to Dec.
Yeah,
to keep him young.
The other thing is, they seem to be getting younger and younger, well, presumably because it's funnier the younger they are, saying silly things.
Like sugar babies.
I believe this week they did some kind of hidden camera prank. Yes, people, those still happen in 2014 on Gordon Ramsay. My mum was trying to get me to watch, but I was like, woman, go away. Watching me HBOs, go away.
I just want to point out that I've heard that Girls is very good. I just haven't had the time to watch it.
Oh, it's a time issue, not a sexist lesbian issue.
Yeah. It's funny. Your story changes quite a bit, Paul.
Well, I know who Lena Dunham is, and I just haven't had a chance to watch the show. I've heard it's extremely good.
I don't know who that is.
Well, there you go. Barry is the real sexist one here, isn't he? Not appreciating the hard work that goes into modern women comedy.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
And she doesn't look like a lesbian. I retract that statement, and I apologise profusely for it. But she's not a looker necessarily.
Well, irrelevant.
She's not. Yeah,
no, she's a pretty good writer, mate.
Talent.
The right light. Yeah, good.
I hope people aren't judging us by our looks and just by our incredible output.
Well, I would certainly hope so, because
I think I'm for the looks, to be honest.
I'm a fat lesbian looking one.
When you shave the beard off,
yeah. Speaking of shave the beard off, I realise we're hopping all over topics here, but my Saturday thus far has consisted of sitting around watching Netflix and for just 10 minutes venturing out of the house to go and get tomato puree for the homemade pizza. And as I was going out the door, my mum asked me to pick her up some alcohol. It's Saturday night. Someone in this household better go out and have some fun tonight. It won't be me. I went up to the local Tesco, which I've lived around the corner from for about 20 years now, and which I worked at for 5 months.
Oh, yeah.
I got ID'd again for like the 6th straight time, and I worked with the girl, and she did. I guarantee you, she doesn't even know my name. That's the main reason she asked for the ID. Let alone the age. Could not believe it. So that annoyed me. Well, in some ways, if it was anywhere else in the city, I'd be like, oh, that's good. And people still think I look 17. How great is that? But when it's the Tesco that I've lived next to for my entire life, and I theoretically should know all the people at this stage, it's just inconvenient and annoying. So yeah, fuck that. Don't know why I told that story, but yeah. That's what my Saturday has been thus far. And watching Netflix. So
I usually when I get ID'd, it's usually by children who don't look old enough to buy alcohol themselves, but who are working on like the self-service checkouts in the supermarket.
Wait,
Well, yeah.
you don't get ID'd, surely, Joe?
Not, probably not for a couple of years.
when Joe's clean,
But it's
shaven,
like it's
he looks
under
like
20, under 25. It's supposed to.
Yeah, that's the rule.
So,
Yeah,
like-
the reason the youngsters are the quickest to ID you, even though you might look well over the limit, is because and I know this from working in retail and going through very cliched training sessions. I've watched a number of VHSs training people on how to, customer service and all that jazz. They do feed you the line of, look, secret shoppers, and basically what happens is the Gardaí they'll enlist a youngster who's underage to come in and buy alcohol, and if you don't ask them for ID, it's our arse. The shop could be closed down. You'll never work in this town again. Blah 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 blah. They give you that, and so if you're younger and you don't know any better and you're working a till, you almost feel obligated. Everyone not with a walker, you have to ask for ID.
I remember when I worked in a Centre years and years ago, which is a convenience store for those.
Convenience store and a deli and
yeah, all that malarkey. An older brother of one of the guys I went to school with came in. I wanted to buy cigarettes or whatever, but this was on, I think it was Halloween, so he was dressed up in full head-to-toe costume, but I knew it was him. I knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss was there, and he was like, 20 John Player Blue or whatever. I was like, yeah. Because I knew, because his brothers were the same age as me. They were in my class. And he was, 3 years older or something. So
yeah.
He went to school as well. So when I was younger, I knew him from school. So I was like, yeah, okay. And the boss was like, Paul, wait, you're not IDing this guy. Look at him. You don't know who he is. He's covered head to toe in costume. I was like, I know who it is. So I had to ID him under duress from my boss who was standing there. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, here's my ID. I was like, there you go. There you go. So that was embarrassing for me, given that he knew that I knew him, and I knew that I knew him.
Yeah.
But I was like, do you have ID? God. What a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the law on that, isn't it?
So yeah.
I just want to point out that if Lena Dunham tried to buy alcohol, I wouldn't ID her, because I know that she's of age. But if my boss was there, I probably would. Yeah, and I'd probably recommend her show to people. Because I've heard it's extremely good. And I've heard it's got bare boobies in it. So
yes, it does. Mainly hairstyle. So.
Well, you take what you can get when you're single Joe like myself.
Yeah. There are some top quality boobies in True Detective as well.
Not so frequently, though, I would say.
No. A lot of them are dead. That's off-putting.
Well, without spoiling anything, there's been at least 2 good sets so far.
Yeah, there's one really good set. No? Yeah.
Well, there's one comically big set, and then there's what I would consider a better set with my own personal preference. I know a lot of people have been raving over the set, and I don't want to bring the tone down because I already have earlier that I once again apologize for. But the set that the world has been raving about, to me, a little too big for my own taste. I say taste. I mean, maybe they taste good. I don't know. But a little too comically big. I
don't know.
They all taste like grapefruit.
Big. They weren't comically big.
They're really big.
No.
Like you know, give them 10 years and they'll be on the floor.
Well, I don't know where to start with that sentiment.
All I'm saying
Why are we judging them on where they'll be in?
Why is Paul so forward planning in his?
Because
suit
Joe,
of
with a
boots?
woman, you make an investment. Okay.
You're not marrying her.
No, Paul. Man.
I would, mate.
You
You
live that
yeah,
hidden
sure.
lifestyle.
Oh, you wouldn't, not because it was a. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sure.
I would marry her and also just invest in a little wheelbarrow for. Might need one down the line, possibly.
Oh, not little wheelbarrow. Fucking.
Look, we're just having
An industry-sized one you'd nick from a fucking construction site.
I was going to say
an amusement park for giants.
whoever the actress was with the movies, right? She's probably a really good actress and probably a good writer. So don't think that. No judging her based on the buzz.
No.
No, of course
She
not.
had a really nice face, actually, I gotta say. She's a very pretty girl, very pretty, and a good actress. And I wouldn't be the biggest fan of her boobs, but they are alright, you know. Were there no smaller ones on I'd probably say, I go, yeah, come on. Here, and I'll just punch him around, and we have such a great time. And, yeah.
So yes, True Detective, everyone. It's very good. Check it out. For
I've seen
other,
that, out of interest.
I just finished just before coming on the air. I finished number 3.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very good, very very enjoyable. Two great performances there on the lead of that show.
Are we still talking about the tits here, or what?
I wouldn't declare that as a performance, Paul.
Are they the duo for next season?
Unless it's been like those are stunt double titties, you know, which I'm doubtful of.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bit of Bum Bum as well. Her Bum Bum pretty good too. Just let me give that a shout out over here. Good Bum Bum acting woman. No, just the right size, I would say.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's well leveled.
Excuse me, listeners.
There's a lovely burp there.
My heartburn feels better though. No, I wonder why I have heartburn. I had a kebab last night and I had homemade pizza today, and I'm on my second 2-liter bottle of Coke of the day.
What? You're gonna be dead in a week. Second 2-liter Coke in a day.
Wait, no, not a day. I bought 2-liter bottles last night, so it's like what is it? 24
hour period.
Yeah. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about a surgery I'm having soon. Sort of the second half of a procedure I had.
Breast reduction?
No.
Barry, yours are the right size for me. No, Barry's are the right size for me.
Second half of
They won't be if he carries on eating kebabs every night.
Well, I tell you, but this is the thing. So it's the second half of a procedure I've had done previously, and after I got the first one done, it's on my jaw, and so after the first one, I was on like a liquid diet for like a week, and my jaw and my teeth were like really really sore and swollen and stuff, and so when I get this next one done in May, it's going to be a very similar affair, probably even longer, where I'll be on a liquid diet. And a friend of mine was just like, you eat shit endlessly. You're always eating kebabs and pizza and chips and nonsense. I've had curry chips every day this week. That's really embarrassing to actually say because it's horrible, but I've had curry chips every single day this week. And she was like, you're still really scrawny because you've got some weird metabolism. If you're on a liquid diet for 2 weeks, you might waste away into nothingness, because that's obviously the answer to my shrinky frame that I've got, my delicate little frame that I've got.
Well, I had a delicate frame once, Barry. I just say, don't take it for granted, because you'll end up like me. Oh,
I already kind of do.
Fucking piece of shit, YouTube. Why is wrong with YouTube today? There you go.
I don't know.
I tried to upload a video to it, right? And it's telling me that it's not letting me upload videos longer than 15 minutes anymore.
What? They did. I thought they did away with that long ago, even for regular users.
No.
That's weird. Speaking of YouTube, I was earlier this week. I was using the YouTube Capture app on the iPhone to upload videos. Why does it by default use that shitty stabilizing feature on their videos, where if you're moving around sort of within the frame goes all mental and it's shaking, and I don't know what that feature is theoretically supposed to do, but it does a horrible job of it, and I've seen it on other videos and it just looks terrible, and it's on by default, so I have to figure out how to turn it off. Yeah, YouTube's one of those things though, it has such a monopoly on it's like Facebook, it has such a monopoly on what it does that you just have to deal with it. It's like they can fuck around with it as much as they want and introduce stupid features that don't really work. It's like, what are you going to do? Go to Vimeo with all the hipsters? Yeah. No.
Projected length of videos too long. I just uploaded 2 3-hour videos today, but my 30-minute video is too long.
Maybe you have a cap per day.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but you might.
I'll try it tomorrow, I suppose.
Anyway, we mentioned True Detective. Has anyone else been watching anything this week? Anything of note?
Not as far as TV goes. I'm gonna try Vimeo here.
What have I been watching? Yeah, only the things I've been mentioning already. House of Cards, still persevering with that. Not super sold on this season of House of Cards. It's good, but I'm not really in love with it. Still watching I'm Adam Partridge. I didn't know that Knowing Me, Knowing You is on Netflix as well, which I have also not seen. So I might pause that current I'm Adam Partridge streak I'm on and go watch that instead. That is really, really good. Like, it is really good.
Yeah.
Like, if given that, I like things like The Office and stuff like that, I mean, and it does seem like a real forebear with a little bit of wackiness, a little bit of Father Ted like almost in there as well. Really, really great, really funny. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And Arrested Development, which I'm also enjoying, also very funny.
I've not watched that for a little while.
Yeah, I'm still on my first run of it. And on the classic rewatch stretch of things I've already seen, persevering with 24. I completely forgot how absurd that show is. It is like really weird. It's a really weird show because first of all, it has that. Maybe it's just because I'm older now than when I first saw it, but it's really obvious that this is like a Fox show thing. If you know what I mean, in the sense that they have this kind of, I'll torture someone if I have to save American lives. They always talk about everything as in American lives. It's like that's the quantity of danger. Not even people or just lives. It always has to be American lives. It's really off-putting. But yeah, it's really absurd. There's lots of people getting sniped out of nowhere when they're just about to say the name of a suspect or a location of a suspect. The ability to trace or hack phones is as long or as short as the scriptwriters need it to be with any given scene.
Jack Bauer dies regularly.
All characters are just dropping dead left, right, and center, and then they're back, and it's just like, oh no, what happened? Well, a shot of adrenaline, because adrenaline brings people back to life. Yeah. Complete nonsense, but really fun. So it's really charming in some ways. I appreciate it in a completely different way to the way I used to appreciate it when I first watched it like 6 years ago. So I'm enjoying that, and I've also been watching, and the first series of Pokemon went up on Netflix today, which I watched the first episode thinking I'll watch this for a bit of nostalgia, realize it's shit, and then knock it off. It's not as bad as I was expecting, because I thought this was a thing that we watched as kids and it hypnotized us with its, because Pokemon's kind of a genius shilling device, I think most people my age were victims of. But I watched the first episode. It's like, this is actually not a bad little bit of sort of anime. So I might stick that out because I don't remember how that ends. I assume he catches them all.
Ends? It's still on.
As in, same characters and stuff.
Yeah, Ash is still the main character in it.
Is he still 10?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
it's one of them. Okay, well, cool. Well, good. More
There's
reason.
No end. There's no end to it.
More reason for me to get caught up then.
It's like The Simpsons.
Oh. See, I didn't realize. Well, I guess they still put out games. So I guess it is popular. But yeah, so that's what I've been watching. Film-wise, I watched The Iceman earlier today, which I was greatly anticipating when it was out last year, and I never got a chance to see it with Michael Shannon. That's not a particularly great film.
Oh no.
It's kind of very well made, but very middle of the road mafia stuff.
All right.
Ray Liotta's in it. He is a Ray Liotta mafia character.
I really ought to see that movie then. Oh,
yeah.
I made that joke before.
Wait, what joke?
Ray Liotta. See that movie. Because Ray Liotta sounds like really oughta.
Oh yeah, I remember getting mad about that before. Anyway.
I don't know why I got mad about it.
Because how could I not? Anyway, Michael Shannon's good in it. Everyone's good in it, but it's it's very by the numbers. It's fine. It's like, give it a watch if you're really, really into your mafia stuff, and Michael Shannon, which I am, because he's great. But yeah, that's what I've been watching this week. Yeah, so that was my week.
Okay. Did you watch any movies yourself, Joe, this week?
I watched Carrie.
The new one or the old one?
Both.
Ooh.
I watched the old one last night and the new one today. The old one's quite enjoyable. It's very eerie, quite creepy. Maybe because it's old as well, sort of adds to the sort of strangeness of it. But yeah, very interesting. The new one's a bit more sort of mundane, and I find a lot of modern films, they all sort of look quite glossy. Like, no matter what genre of film it is, maybe it's just the technology, but they all look quite clean and sort of tidy. And I think that harms the sort of atmosphere. Have you seen either of them?
I never have, no.
You've never seen the original?
Check them out.
I mean,
I think it's one we've referenced. I think it's one we've discussed often as a film that's been parodied so much that you almost don't feel like you don't need to bother seeing it.
Well, I mean, you're so aware of the big final set piece that I guess if we were to watch it now, I think everything that leading up to that moment would just feel a little bit like filler to an extent. But I mean, I know about Carrie. I know about it. I just never took the time really to watch.
Yeah.
Any scores then?
Don't know, 7 something for the old one.
7 then. Okay, for new.
6.8 for the new one.
So 2 7s there from Joe.
I suppose you could say that.
Well,
Rather inaccurate.
You wouldn't be so accurate, but how accurate do you need to be, really?
Well,
7 out of 10.
how seriously do you take it?
Yeah, but if we're having a conversation about
Serious business.
no,
Films.
not
Films.
we don't have to go to the film pronunciation here. But if we're having an informal conversation about films, okay? You're saying, "Oh, you saw the movie. How was that movie then?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, about 7 out of 10." You know instantly about how good it is, right? So I wouldn't have to go, 6.8, 6.6 for that. 7's enough. 7 out of 10? 7 out of 10. Alright, so about 7 out of 10. Grand. Okay, good. Move on. Move on with our lives now. Let's stop talking and move on.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you could whittle it down to, should you see a movie, yes or no? And have it on a 2-point scale.
Fine, if that's the scale people want to do, then I'm all for that.
Well, email in, folks. What scale do you want to do? Out of 100 or out of 2? I'm a fan of the 10 points. I like between 1 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. And I mean, if you want to throw in a 0 out of 10 in exceptional circumstances, why not?
Are we still on the 0 out of 10? Is that a thing? Debate.
I think a 0 out of 10 is a valid score. If a film is bad enough, I don't think I've ever given it a 0 out of 10. Well, I don't see why not. What's happening?
Well, those are the only movies I watched. Paul, you didn't watch any movies, did you?
Yeah, I watched two. Like I said earlier, I watched 2 movies this week.
Go on.
On Sunday, when did we do our show last week? Saturday, yeah. On Sunday,
Yeah.
I watched my final Oscar nominee in what I consider the main categories. Obviously, I'm not watching best foreign movie or best score.
Sound editing.
Yeah. Well, I consider the main awards would be, your best film, best director,
Yeah.
best lead actor, best lead actress, best supporting.
Yeah.
All those. So I've watched them all now. So the final one I had to watch was August Osage County.
Best animated short. Those ones don't really count, do they? If someone says they want an Oscar and then you go, what for? And they go, best live short. Nah.
Well, the one that I'm not sure about is best song, by best original song.
But typically those are in films that are probably going to be nominated.
I know, but for example, Pharrell Happy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's more of a Pharrell thing than a movie thing. It just so happens that it's in a movie.
They've used it, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Really.
I'd much rather give an award, and I realize they do this, but I'd much rather give an award for the best music and/or score and/or original soundtrack in general award.
Yeah, like fair enough for even best music, but they're judging it based on the music of a film, as opposed to one arbitrary song from it.
Yeah, Spring Breakers, by the way, obviously.
Yeah, that's from Rick Street.
Of course.
I
know that. I noticed that was snobbed by the Academy, of course.
Do you mean snubbed?
Either, if you want.
It was snubbed.
Why not?
So I watched August Osage. I keep calling it Orange County by mistake.
I said Osage.
Osage County. Yeah, I really hated this movie. I didn't like it at all.
What's it about?
It's sort of an ensemble. It's actually based on a play, a quite successful play. It's about a father as the sort of patriarch of a family who dies, and all the people from the family sort of join together at the one house to sort of. They don't actually go to the funeral. The funeral is sort of very briefly pass over, but it's sort of the events that happen in the house in the immediate aftermath. And normally I really like films based on plays. Like I really like 12 Angry Men is my favorite film of all time because it's got that sort of play feeling. I don't think it's necessarily based on a play, but it's got that sort of like it could be a play essentially. Same with Reservoir Dogs. I feel like that could be a pretty effective play.
Casablanca is based on a play.
And even musicals, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, sure.
But this one is based on a play, and I just didn't like it at all. I mean, it's competently made. The performances are, fine. But there was just no point during the movie that I enjoyed it. It was just very drab, full of unlikable, shouty characters. I just didn't get into it. I gave it a 3 out of 10, which is a fail.
It's pretty harsh from you.
It's nominated for best lead actress, I think Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
She was alright.
Well, she's Meryl Streep, so...
She is Meryl Streep in fairness. I would say it's probably a step down in terms of Meryl Streep performances. In that, I don't know, I mean, it was a little overbearing sometimes. And while she was on, I was sort of... It was almost like when you're watching a play. And when you're watching a play, when sometimes the actors have to overact to an extent because it's a play, and they have to sort of force across the emotion stuff. I mean, even compared to movies, a lot of, and maybe I'm generalizing here, but I feel like in plays the actors actually have to act a little harder than they would, for example, in movies because they don't have the advantage of camera angles and stuff. You sort of have to project you have to project your voice as well.
Soundtrack.
Yeah. And to me, it felt more like a play performance than a film performance, which, fair enough, that's what she was going for, but it doesn't really work. It didn't really work for me in the context of the movie. So, didn't like that movie at all. So, to cleanse the old palate, I watched The Expendables today.
Ooh.
Any good?
It was alright. Didn't blow me away.
It's not that fun, is it?
I thought it was fun, but... the whole time I was watching it, I was expecting the fun to exponentially increase and hit this fun peak, and it never really does. It just sort of is fun and then it ends. I preferred Escape Plan, which I was talking about a few weeks ago with Arnie, which also has Arnie and Sly Stallone in it.
Yeah,
I think that's a more fun movie, and I think it's hard to explain because they're both very dumb movies, but Escape Plan is cleverer about how dumb it is. Like the dumbness. It's almost so dumb it's clever, whereas Avengers, what's the movie called? Expendables is so dumb that I feel dumber for having watched it.
Yeah,
it's the very epitome of big gun, dick hanging out, smoking a cigar. It's quite demeaning to women. I know this is ironic given my it's from earlier, but it's very.
At least they're not lesbians, am I right?
It's like unabashingly sexist.
Yeah.
Like there's only 2 women in the movie who are both sort of fawning over these men for no apparent reason. Like the woman who's for no reason into Sly Stallone, who by the way looks like Looks like a melted candle that someone's drawn a face on with a Sharpie or something. He's especially wax looking in this movie. There's not a very strong woman presence, which is funny because Ronda Rousey is apparently going to be the third one. So there you go. So I thought it was decent. Again, I preferred Escape Plan. I'm going to watch Expendables 2 at some stage because why not? It was fun enough. I was supposed to see Non-Stop today as well. The new Liam Neeson in a plane movie.
Ugh.
Which I've heard is actually quite good. But then my brother, instead of going to see the movie with me, went out last night and didn't come back until like 4 today. So
Play,
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Passed down someone's floor, most likely.
Ooh.
So I just didn't see it. So we'll probably see it tomorrow or Monday. And I'm going to be staying up late and watching the Oscars live because I took Monday off.
Whoa!
And I'm also taking the day after WrestleMania off, which is
I was going to say, yeah.
I've done every year since I started working there.
I think I'm also going to take the day off to stay up and watch it. So.
WrestleMania or the Oscars?
Yeah. No, WrestleMania.
I can watch the Oscars live.
Nah.
Do you have any Oscar predictions, by the way, Joe?
Probably films winning awards,
Well, and actors.
tuxedos, and speeches.
I'm going to give people my
Who's hosting it? Who's hosting it?
Ellen DeGeneres talking about lesbian.
Oh, Ellen DeGeneres X. Yeah, she won't.
I'll give you. Here's a list of the best pictures. Okay, you guys might have seen some of these. So, best picture nominees: American Hustle.
I haven't seen it.
Not that good. Captain Phillips.
I haven't seen
Okay,
It's all right. Dallas Buyers Club.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Haven't
it's all
seen
right. Gravity.
Okay,
Yeah, it's okay. It's not that good. Her.
haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Yeah.
Extremely good. Nebraska.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen
But
it.
I heard it's got Buzz from Home Alone in it. So I'm intrigued now.
It's exceptionally good. Philomena.
Haven't seen it.
Really good. Really good. 12 years
Is that
slave.
Filmamina or Philomena?
It's got 12 Years a Slave
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, yeah.
and Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah! Wolf of Wall Street.
I would give my pick to Her. I think Her is the best of those movies. But I think 12 Years a Slave is probably going to win. Best actor in a movie
Leonardo DiCaprio.
is DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street, Christian Bale, American Hustle, Bruce Dern, Nebraska, McConaughey, Dallas Buyers Club, and Chiwetel Ejiofor from 12 Years a Slave. I think DiCaprio is my pick here. I think DiCaprio is the best.
Yeah, I'd say McConaughey and Ejiofor as outsiders.
I think Ejiofor is probably the favourite. Again, I thought it was really good, but I think DiCaprio was. I think he was really outstanding. Best actress in the movie, in the leading of a movie, Amy Adams, American Hustle. Kate Blanchett, Blue Jasmine. Less about that one. Sandra Bullock, Gravity. Judi Dench, Philomena, and Meryl Streep in Orange County. I think Judi Dench is the best one there. I think she was the best in Philomena. Because she said to, in Philomena, not Film-ena, Judi Dench says to Steve Coogan, "You need a big swipe of shite." Which is very funny. She plays an Irish woman in it.
Is that an Irish thing?
I've never heard anyone say it.
Oh,
Same way
okay.
when I was in France, I didn't hear a single person say "sacre bleu."
Probably when you weren't around.
Paul! Oh, have you made the discography in Sacre Bleu?
I'll just say as well, for Best Actor, I think it should be Jared Leto for Dallas Dyers Club. And Best Actress should be Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. There you go.
Bo Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh.
That's good.
They just want to get to know their champion better.
Is that a thing? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch NXT this week?
No.
Idiots.
I don't watch
Idiots.
NXT any week.
Stupid idiot.
It was the big show. It was their WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was there.
Big show, dude.
No, he wasn't on it. Then it would have been bad.
Oh, was it good then?
It was great.
Yeah, so that was good.
Do you know who watched NXT? My brother watched NXT.
Smart man.
Ooh.
He
Smart man. Watch NXT in the day. Go out and get some at night. Fall asleep on the floor.
Like 3 weeks ago, he chastised me for watching wrestling. Then, just today, he was like, "Oh, did you watch NXT?" What?
That's the allure of Sami Zayn and Paige.
Yeah, he's
And what's that? Mojo Mondo. What's his
Mojo
name?
Rawley, yeah.
Oh God, what was that?
I don't know, I skipped it.
Yeah, me too.
Because he was facing CJ Parker. There's a match.
I thought that was Bo Dallas with dreadlocks.
No,
No, it's
nowhere
okay.
near as good.
fair enough.
I also watched The Aviator last week.
How'd you find that?
I kind of enjoyed it. Bit dull in parts.
Yeah, I found that extremely boring when I watched it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it. It's too long as well. But
Yeah.
then it's Scorsese movies. His are always like 2:59.
Yeah, it's all the sort of old timey stuff.
Scorsese is very much the shopkeeper of the film world. That all his movies are 2 hours 59 minutes. So he's trying to fool you into thinking they're not 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2:59.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Very long. Although, Wolf of Wall Street, I quite liked. I like Scorsese's movies.
Definitely.
Except The Aviator, which is too boring. Too boring for me! Although I was like 14 when I tried to watch it. So I'm like, this isn't like Rush Hour 2. It's too boring for me.
What did they put that on the poster? Did they? And that's why you were lured in, like Rush Hour 2, but with planes and less diversity.
Yeah, definitely that's diversity. What's in that movie? Who's the lead female in The Aviator?
Kate Blanchett.
It's Blanchett. Okay.
Yeah.
She's pretty good, Kate Blanchett. I will say.
Yep.
So, I've got emails then, lads.
Yep. Time to do Barry's weekly spam folder check. There was nothing in it there when I checked this morning, but let's go again because we do get some last minute.
Spamoids.
Yeah, we do get some last minute correspondence, as they say in France when Paul's not around. Where the fuck? Here we go. There we go. Let's hit the old refresh. No, nothing. Okay, so they're all in my regular thing. Alright, here we go. Email number 1 is from Scott. He said, you mentioned last week that you didn't like Cherry Coke, and I concur. Cherry Coke is the worst tasting soda I've ever tried. It's vile. Thank you, Scott. I think I actually have had it. For those of you who missed the tweet, there was a sign that said, try Cherry Coke today, and I was like, never! But I do believe I have had it once, and I don't like cherry flavored drinks. So, he says, a quick PWG comment. After watching DDT 4 2013, I hope PWG sends you a royalty check. The moment when Roderick Strong chopped Adam Cole in the dick had me in tears with laughter. Great show. Looking forward to Bola. Yeah, that's not even one of the better shows last year's DDT. It was good though. And they don't send me checks. No one does. Unfortunately, I'm not on the take. And it's funny because I am willing to be on the take if anyone wants me to shill anything. I'm not a scrupulous man. As for WrestleMania, if the WWE wants to force Batista and Orton and Bryan versus Triple H on us, they can make up for it. They can make it up to me by booking Sheamus versus Cesaro. Watching the two of them go at it at Elimination Chamber made me want that one-on-one match at Mania. One last thing. Do you think the fact that WWE Network seems to be such a success and more people having access to watch NXT, do you think it would make it easier for talent to transition from NXT to the main roster? Or do you think NXT will make it harder for wrestlers to switch characters when one doesn't seem to be working? Hope you had a good weekend, Scott. I was actually thinking that there earlier in the week. It certainly seems like there's more people watching and talking about NXT, especially for a big special like that. I'm not really sure what to make of the success of the network. I have no guesses whatsoever.
Don't know what the numbers are, do we? So.
No, we don't know exactly.
How did you guys watch NXT without the network?
It was up on the usual spots.
Where's that?
Mm.
WWE.com?
Yeah. They're on the telly, down the pub, the usual places. Extra Vision.
The blast area.
The blast area, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool if people could come from NXT now that they're doing these big specials and everyone has, well, not everyone, but lots of people have the network. It would be cool if, at the very least, when someone makes the jump to Raw, a little bit of a grassroots movement of people who actually know what they are. Because these days it feels like people show up from NXT and like no one knows who they are. Like no one, there isn't even a small amount of people who go, oh look, it's Xavier Woods, I know him from NXT. It's like there's nobody, seemingly nobody who goes to Raw pays attention to NXT. So hopefully this will mean that if, for example, Sami Zayn shows up on Raw tomorrow, there would at least be a contingent of fans who go, oh, I watched his match on the network and it was really good. So yeah, hopefully, although you raise a good point, Scott, if they decide to switch someone's character, makes it a bit more awkward. But
they tend to do that after sort of bringing them up, though. Like, they brought up Husky Harris or whatever, or someone else, and they didn't work out, so then they go back and try another one. So,
or Jason Alberts.
Who?
Jason Alberts. Take a guess who that is.
Alex Riley.
No. Good guess.
Jason Alberts.
Jason Alberts.
Is it
I'll tell you.
Tensai?
It is in fact Tensai.
What?
Tensai's doing announcing now on NXT, and he's doing pre-show panel stuff and backstage interviewer stuff and commentator stuff.
He's not called Tensai.
Well, yeah, because it's preposterous if you have a fella who's just a man in a suit and he's not. I mean, he hasn't been proper Tensai for like a year, but now he's completely not Tensai. So they said, look, let's just stop calling him. It's preposterous having a commentator called Tensai, and he's just a regular man in a suit. So now they gave him a regular man in suit name. So he's Jason Alberts.
Like his name was Albert that time.
Yeah. Why they couldn't just, if he's going to be an announcer, why they couldn't just call him Matt Bloom? I don't know, but.
Or just Prince Albert.
Or anything really.
I have a list of his ring names here if you want to go through. I just have to load them up. We have ring names. The Mongolian, which I'm sure Ricky Gervais loves. Matt Bloom, which is his real name.
Mm-hmm.
Baldo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Albert.
Yeah.
A-Train.
Yeah.
The Baldo Train.
Don't remember that. Was
Train, simply.
Friend of Freight.
Giant Bernard.
Yeah.
Or Bernard, if you will. Giant Bernard. Rusher Road. Lord Tensai. Tensai. And Jason Alberts.
Sweet Tea.
And do either of you want to hazard a guess at what age he is?
36.
42.
He's 41.
Oh, wow, is he?
Yeah. Well, he's been wrestling since 1999 in WWF.
Yeah. Think about all the years in developmental and indies, and it's probably been going, probably fucking 20 years ago or thereabouts. That's weird. But yeah, thank you, Scott, for your email. Let me see here. My phone is after locking up for me, and I can't remember the password. There we go. There it is. Same as my pin for the ATM. Let me see here.
I also use the same code on my phone as my ATM.
This question's from Steve.
Steve?
Representing the Bay Area, as always. Woo. He says, a Girl Scout in San Francisco sold 117 boxes of cookies in 2 hours, almost a box a minute, after she set up her table in front of a medical marijuana dispensary. She's obviously going to be a Fortune 500 CEO one day, but the Girl Scouts over in Colorado have voiced their disapproval with Girl Scouts selling cookies in front of the marijuana shops because they don't want their Scouts selling cookies in front of places too adult, like dispensaries, strip clubs, casinos, etc. That's the least offensive thing a Scout girl could be doing at a strip club, but anyway. Girl Scouts of California have said they have no problem with selling their cookies in front of dispensaries. Do you think there's anything wrong with these business tactics? It seems like a great way to sell the cookies, and their parents are there with them, so there's no safety issues. By the way, the Girl Scout mints are hella good. I hope they have them over in Ireland. I know we don't have Girl Scouts over here. They're not allowed. I don't know why.
Yeah, we just have normal Scouts. And I think
Men. Not boys.
They sell their biscuits or their cookies outside of churches.
Do they? I have never seen a little lad selling.
I don't think they do, but that's where priests like touching boys, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh
we were
god.
tiptoeing around that. Steve, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If it's a medical marijuana dispensary, it's not a crack den. It's not like
Hold on, that might be a good idea as well.
how can that, well, no, what are they gonna do? Melt the cookie on a spoon? But like, I don't understand how anyone could take issue. Well, no, we can't have this happening. It's not safe. It's like a pharmacy. It's not a and also it's weed. It's not like.
Well,
I'd be more concerned.
you
I'd
would
be more
say that,
concerned.
of course.
Shut up. I'd be more concerned. I'd be more concerned. I'd be more concerned about them selling it outside an off license than a dispensary. But no, it's fine if their parents are there and they're doing it in the middle of the day, and it's not like it's not like 3 a.m. outside the local fucking meth lab.
The local meth lab
With some little thin mints. Then leave them off. They're very entrepreneurial. That one girl who sold 117 sounds like a fucking ruthless businessman.
So we don't have these cookies over here, obviously. I assume there's something like what we have after 8. I assume there's something along those lines.
I have no idea because I've never seen them. My understanding is that they are more biscuit-like than chocolate.
Yeah, they're biscuits, aren't they?
Yeah. Also, we do have things that are akin to Girl Scouts. I think they're called. They have a variety of different names depending on where you are.
The brownies.
Yeah, we have brownies. We have a number of different things. Am
I wrong here? Am I wrong here? Or is there one called Beavers? I think I might be right.
I used to be in
I tell you what, Paul. Google young Irish schoolgirl beavers and see what comes up. And don't answer the door for the next 2 weeks or whatever the statute of limitations is. But yeah, no, I don't know if that's true. But there's definitely. But the thing is, right?
Can I just interrupt you for a second, Barry?
What?
For until I was probably about 23. I thought that the statute of limitations was the statue of limitations.
What? I do only 25.
Yes.
So how did it take you that?
I don't know. I never needed to use it.
And what did you think it was? You think it was another pandering gift from the French?
Michelangelo's
He falls over there, goes, "How about that statue of limitations? What were you lads thinking?" And then when he leaves the room, "Oh, sacre bleu!"
He does not know what this statue is.
Oh!
Get that cat off the table. No, it likes it there.
Do you think that the Statue of Liberty was maybe a Trojan
what?
horse?
The Statue of Liberty.
Do you think the Statue of Liberty was maybe a Trojan horse type effort, and there's a two French corpses inside?
No,
the door does not open.
We have to escape out the nostril.
The door only open from the outside.
No, because if that was true, then Abe Simpson would have found them when he was living in there. Abe, it's time for dinner.
There's a wheel, pushing the wheel.
What the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, Girl Scouts. Right. I think. What do they do though? Because so they do exist in this country, but they don't go door to door selling biscuits.
They get badges for doing things.
They get but
Sewing and all that.
They they get badges for going to Tesco and bagging your groceries while collecting money for charity.
Every time they beat a gym leader as well.
Yeah. Oh, there was some lads from a local rugby team bagging up groceries at Tesco this afternoon. It was they could tell by my face after I got ID'd with my 3 cans of Linden Village that I wasn't in a mood to have them bag up my tomato puree.
They don't know how to do it either.
You're putting the toiletries next to my assorted cans of Coke and burgers.
Why would I put a 6-pack of Pepsi on top of my bag of crisps? They'll be crushed.
Yeah. Don't put the eggs under my bowling ball, young man.
Dirty, I'm good, boss.
You can put the marshmallows anywhere, lad. They're versatile. Don't worry. Likewise, this tire I bought. Anyway, thank you, Steve, as always, Bay Area represented. Bill. By the way, I did watch some Impact this week. I fast forwarded some bits. I really, really, really like the bromance. I realize we've discussed this in depth.
I've been putting them over for like 3 months.
But when they were backstage negotiating with Bobby Roode, and then it ends with Zema Ion just saying, "Yeah," I was like, okay, this is over. This is silly enough to be entertaining. But anyway, enough about it. We'll get to Impact later. One last email from Alex, our new friend Alex.
Yay! Alex was posting on Twitter about how he's listening to our show. That was very nice of him. Thank you. And Alex is a man after my own heart. He's a man with a big beard.
Oh, aye.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
But I'm growing mine out after today because I need to get rid of this.
Thanks for the kind words, Alex. You're a good lad.
You're a good man.
Yeah.
This question is, hey Barry, who is your favorite main character and side character from Trailer Park Boys? And do you have a favorite episode? Thanks. Good question. My favorite main character would probably have to be Mr. Leahy. Easy pick. A classic, an instantly quotable, very, very funny character with countless memorable moments. And my favorite episode would probably be a Leahy-centric episode. I believe it's from season 4, and I think it's the episode where it's the anniversary of the day he gets kicked off the police force, and so he puts on a wig and his police uniform, and he just drinks a load of booze and goes on a rampage in the trailer park. That's a really, really great episode. I really love Trailer Park Boys. I've only seen the first film, and I wasn't super big on it, so I haven't seen the second one. But the TV show is I think it's an underappreciated cult classic. I really love it. So thank you very much, Alex. You're a man after my heart as well as Paul's. I don't know the name of that episode, but I'm sure you know the one I'm referring to. Great episode, great performance, and really love that show. So that's all my emails. Thank you, as always, to the fine gentleman who takes the time to email us.
Cool. Right, I'm gonna open mine up right now. I have 2. First one's from Steve, from the Bay Area. He says that a lot of people are upset with the WWE Network for buffering and non-starting issues, more like the WWE Net doesn't work. Am I right?
Don't steal my damn joke.
I tweeted that a few days ago, so don't be...
I tweeted it before you, idiot.
Lies. For buffering and non-starting issues, but don't call me an idiot, Barry. How upset do you think Dixie Carter is with the WWE Network after the NXT special took a bite in TNA's ratings? Also, why would Dixie Carter bring back the Ask Dixie hashtag? It was such a rousing success the first time. Insert your own joke here about TNA bringing back a former failure. Love the show. Keep up the great work. I think Dixie Carter is probably aloof to the fact that NXT took a large chunk out of their ratings, because she is an incompetent boob who knows nothing about business and nothing about anything. And that's also the same reason she brought back the Ask Dixie hashtag, because she's an aloof moron who thinks that her Twitter is important and that she is important and that anyone could possibly care about her Twitter or TNA. How did that Ask Dixie thing go, by the way? Was it the same as first time when people going, why are you so dumb and why are you ruining the company, you dumb idiot? That sort of stuff.
Probably, but I saw her answering non-things of that nature.
Okay, I'm going to search very quickly for Ask Dixie here. I'm going to take the first 3.
Last night's episode of Impact Wrestling television showed you a 0.94 rating, which was down from the 0.95 rating the previous week. Damn you, NXT! Nicked at least 300 viewers.
Yeah.
Definitely not a coincidence.
I see that Steve from the Bay Area was using the Ask Dixie hashtag here.
What was he asking?
He said, did you really think Hulk was going to stay? How embarrassed are you with that? How that segment looks now? Asked Dixie. Dixie didn't reply to that one, unfortunately. Let's have a look at Dixie Carter's Twitter account. She is followed by just under 290,000 people, which makes sense why they make all the announcements on her Twitter as opposed to the television show, which draws 4 times that amount of people. She's tweeting about Bellator. It's a KO from Rampage. Congrats, buddy.
He was fighting. When was he fighting?
Yeah, last night.
I was completely unaware.
Bellator.
Was it a car park?
Might as well have been. I can only imagine Rampage on his Twitter going, "Who's this stupid white bitch tweeting me?"
Yeah.
You don't even remember. They posted a full transcript of last night's Ask Dixie session here. If you had $1 for every time someone said you're going out of business or were for sale, could you buy WWE? Dixie says, I wish I did have $1 for every time I heard that.
Then they wouldn't have to cut everyone's salary. Zima Ion wouldn't be asleep in his car with a tumour in his fucking neck.
Jeez.
Someone asks, are there any wrestling moves? Keep that in mind. Wrestling moves. Okay? Are there any wrestling moves that's not allowed in TNA? So that's poor grammar as well. Dixie replies, chair shots to the head. And yes, others too. Very informative answer there by Dixie, who of course let Rob Terry take that chair shot to the head that time in whatever it was, 2011, years after people knew about all that malarkey. So, let's try and find some other wacky questions here. Will we see a tournament to crown a new? Will we see a tournament to crown a new TV title? Maybe.
Oh my god, these questions.
Maybe on a one night only PPV. And they've also not used the Ask Dixie hashtag correctly. It's
So obviously she was bored and started venturing out of it.
hashtag Ask. See?
And if a double decker boss.
Thoughts on CM Punk? Of course, they had to get that CM Punk mention in there for the.
And of course she had to answer it.
Yeah, she goes, awesome talent.
Yeah, I bet she did.
Yeah. What? Oh, she goes. It goes. Kurt Angle is a legend. Will he be back for Lockdown? And Dixie says, that's the plan. Biggest match of my nephew's career.
Wait, he never left. When did he leave? He didn't leave.
I thought
He's
she meant that Kurt Angle was her nephew. I was getting confused. I was like, what? Her nephew? No, she means Kurt.
Yeah,
treat.
Whatever his name is.
Trouble.
Oh my god. Do you remember when Elix Skipper walked the steel cage? Dixie says, my heart almost stopped. I was standing on the floor.
God.
As opposed to standing on the wall, I assume. Looking up at him. I was not happy about it at the time. Crazy.
Did she ban that move?
And others. Can we please give Christopher Daniels a world title match? Asks a user. Dixie replies, he has to earn it.
He's had about 50. Who's asking that stupid question?
Was it Chris Daniels?
What are your thoughts on Raven's impact? Who are asking these questions?
Oh,
Raven? This is actually quite a good one. Someone asks, what are you doing in New York? Booking shows? And Dixie says, nope. They'd be able to book a show in New York. Oh my god. Who's your favourite musical artist or band? Who do you listen to? Apparently Dixie's a fan of country music.
Oh, you're joking.
No, who'd have guessed?
Hardcore country or?
What do you say? This is the last one I'm going to say. What do you say to critics questioning the long-term viability? What do you think her answer is?
Oh, well, we focus on the
They said
positivity,
that
darling.
we wouldn't last 10 seconds. We've last 100 years.
Dixie says, I quit answering them about 10 years ago. Ugh! The 10 years thing. Oh my god. Dreadful. Dreadful. Anyway, thanks for that email, Steve. Dixie Carr's an idiot. Funny enough, Scott then sends an email, which is pretty close to what we were just talking about. He says, good morning, Paul. You said last week you could only imagine how terrible going to the movies in the States was. And I can tell you that normally it is terrible. People on their phones, yelling at the screen, bringing babies to R-rated movies.
Oh.
It's just terrible. I only go to theatre for an early matinee when nobody is there, or on the rare occasion, the last showing of the night. It's part of the reason I've seen less than half a dozen films in the last 5 years in the theatre. That is very unfortunate, because I must say I love going to the cinema. And, sometimes, I'm sure you're in America, there's some nice, quieter cinemas where you don't get the old dregs of society. He says that you and Joe both proved that you can see a bit into the future. You compared the WWE making their Hogan Returns announcement to the way TNA seems to make major announcements on Dixie's Twitter feed. And not only 6 hours later, Dixie announced that the Wolves had won the tag team titles. Thus proving that to TNA, it doesn't matter if it happens on TV, things only count when Dixie talks about it on Twitter. Have you made some sort of deal with Mama? Is he using his voodoo abilities to see the future? Did you threaten to give him another toothache, or maybe take away his ability to taste food? Thanks, Scott. I have another Mama update, which I'll get into now in a minute. But
did he not get the promotion that you were going for?
did you see that video? Did you see the video that they put up on the TNA YouTube with the Wolves winning the tag titles?
Yeah.
Celebrating in the crowd of 4 people.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how sad. How sad was that? As far as Mama goes, I have, without his knowledge, so this might be illegal, recorded a 10-minute conversation I had with Mama.
That is illegal, by the way. Let me tell you that as a journalist who's done media law.
It is
that expertise that I have.
It is in French, but just so you guys can hear his voice, I'll tell you about it now. Hang on.
So we're being accessories to this.
Yeah.
Good.
And everyone listening. So.
And everyone listening.
This is Mama's voice. That's me. That's me speaking French now. Okay, that's...
Mama's trying to work and there's your goofy fucking leprechaun cackle in the background. Mama, look at this.
Mama, look at this Pokemon gimmick.
The fairy.
Just threw away the moonstone gimmick.
A monocle for myself.
Oh.
Mama, you're a fucking street dweller. Just a bother about yourself. Anyway, what that was all about was Mama this week. If you've been following the Mama story, by the way, you might be a new listener like Alex, so I'll just give a brief background.
Yeah.
Mama is an ageless African man who I work with, who not only believes in but practices voodoo, Wiccan stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he had another...
all the shit your sister does when she's bored at 17.
Not even 13.
Yeah.
So Mama had another stone in his ear all week. Okay, here's the whole backstory.
Hold. This is the promotion stone.
Mama wasn't the one going for the promotion, so if he was, I would have been a little bit worried, but he wasn't. Mama comes from some unknown African country. I don't know where he's from exactly. Wherever he comes from...
I imagine it's a French-speaking one.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, a lot of them are.
Embarrass it down.
So probably in West Africa, maybe.
Ivory Coast or one of
Somewhere
them.
there. Well, wherever he comes from, wherever the area he comes from is, they don't celebrate birthdays, so he does not know how old he is. I would assume about 50, maybe late 50s. He doesn't know his birth date. He doesn't know when he was born.
Oh man, that's too good.
It's
too good.
So he's been having this back and forth with this woman who lives in the apartment underneath him. Okay. And you can only imagine this from my point of view, but you must understand when I talk about this how earnest Mama is when he's telling these stories and how much he believes that he's in the right, okay? Mm-hmm. So he is of the belief that for the last 3 months or so, that the woman who lives underneath him has been casting spells on him. Because, you see, when he puts his television on, she can hear him or something, so she's not happy. So she's been putting spells on him, and every day he comes in.
Hang on, that seems to be kind of a trivial thing to put a spell on someone for.
I know. Well, this is Mom anyway. So he every day comes in and is complaining about how the side of his head is all hot, the top of his head is all hot because she's burning him, and he's actually made me turn around and he's lifted his trouser legs up to show me his legs where he's being burned. He's like, look how she's burning me. Unfortunately, he's not asked me to feel the burning sensation of his leg. But his legs are being burnt, apparently. So, that's this woman. So he gave me a little bit more information about this woman this week. He's actually going to speak
have you ever played The Floor is Lava? Well, that's my life now, Paul.
He actually has confronted this woman, okay? You can only imagine what this woman is thinking. He went to her door, okay? Knocked on the door. And she opened, and she finds this crazy old African man, right?
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know what I've done to you, but can you please stop attacking me? Right? And she's looking at him, clearly probably bemused and confused. He's like, I don't know what I've done, but please stop. And she's telling him to go away and get away from her. And that her husband is coming to, I don't know, he wouldn't leave anyway. So he's tried to confront her 3 times about this, but he was of the belief that she is still doing it to him, even though I'm sure she's doing nothing and has no idea what this crazy man's talking about. So what he did was, he's convinced that she's trying to avoid him. So he saw her.
Yeah, but she is.
He saw her out in her car. So he waited by his window, right? For 15 minutes to take a photograph of her. And he did, and he showed it to me. He has it on his computer at work. And it's just this normal woman walking, trying to hide her face from this crazy man, trying to take a photo of her through his window. And he totally believes that she has a photo of him, and that's what she uses to do the voodoo on him.
Oh God.
Does that work in the digital context? Like, do you put a little memory card on your shrine? It's the same thing as a printed out photo.
No, he has that photo printed off at home, I think.
Oh, of course he does.
But
yeah.
he says, but it doesn't really work because you see, you need to have their face clearly visible on the photo, and her face was sort of hidden, so you can't really.
Is that traditional voodoo? Is it?
Yeah, I was going to
using
say.
using a printout of a digital photo.
I've not done the voodoo classes, so I can't.
Yeah, it's like, is there like a 4th edition of the book where it's updated for the 21st century and stuff?
Yeah.
And this extra chapter is spells on how to make someone's iPod not work.
So anyway, Mama then reveals to me that he always carries a camera around with him. At which point he opens his waistcoat to reveal a sort of camera holster
Waistcoat
with a camera in it. With him right at that moment, and he's like, yeah, he's worn it every day for years. He always has a camera on him, and just for the record, he has a camera phone. He has a smartphone, but he has this like, whatever Nikon camera or whatever it is, just in his pocket. So now I'm a little worried if I ever do anything, he'd probably whip it out and take a snap at me. He also then revealed that he has called the police on this woman because of her voodoo spells.
Right.
So he called up.
Oh God! Imagine that call. Jeez.
Yeah, apparently because he had no proof, they sort of didn't do anything about it.
Hang on, did he show them the hot legs?
No, he didn't. He was only a phone call because he said that whatever police station he goes to, I don't know where it is. I don't know where he's living exactly.
The edge of the universe or something.
He says
some
that,
kind of rip in space
he
time.
says that the police, wherever he lives, are only open between 10 and 12.
What?
Yeah. 2 hours a day. Easy. There must be only one policeman.
It must be confused with like the post office or something.
So that's why he was only able to ring them. I can only imagine how that phone call went. There's a woman burning me from a distance using a photo of me. And sadly,
did he ask you for directions to the village elders? Because that's usually who he goes to with issues of misuse of voodoo.
so Mama has this bag, this little,
Jesus.
basically like a little camera bag.
Yeah.
The way people have those that they hang around their necks, little camera bags.
Yeah.
Full of gemstones. Okay. It's one of these that he has in his ear, which is to protect his head from the burning. I assume.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was working and I turned around this week to find that he had a gemstone the size of like a computer mouse,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just rubbing it all over his face, like he was cleaning his face with it, which I assume was to take away the burning sensation that he himself has made up in his own head.
Oh, come on, Paul. You like Pokemon. He's trying to evolve into like Water Eevee or whatever the fuck she's called. The Water Mama. I choose you, Mama.
So he was rubbing it on his head, and you know, different. Did you ever tell the story a few weeks ago that I found a stone underneath his chair, and he was angry that I had touched it because I had ruined it or something? That's what it was. It was one of these power stones that I don't know what they do. So it's just kind of, it's got weirder and weirder every time I look now. He's looking at websites about these gemstones and what they do, and ordering them in bulk. He keeps getting these packages. I'm sure they have stones.
God, this is like every other religion in the sense that someone's fucking gouging someone else and making a lot of money off them. Yeah. Setting up stones and pouches to carry your stones.
So this is the sad thing is because
the whole thing is sad, mate.
I'm not going to be sitting beside Mama anymore.
Oh, why not?
Because I have to move. I'm working.
He's being fucking committed.
I'm working with a new team now, so.
I'm sure there'll be some nutters on that team as well.
Well, I'm going to have to go down and visit Mama the odd time.
A group of pagans. This is the pagan department, Paul.
One time I'll go down and this whole desk will just be surrounded by this wall made of gems, this little igloo.
Just fucking wicker men everywhere. Oh my god, that's amazing.
I'll put that little. I mean, the conversation's in French, like I said, but if anyone wants to hear, they can put through. I don't know if there's a Google Translate audio gimmick someone can find. They can stick it in.
Don't put that out there for people.
Mama will never know.
I'm bothered enough that you recorded it and played it on the show. Don't put that out there. That's like weird.
Why don't we just get Mama on for the 200th episode?
Yes. We were talking about having a special guest. That's as special as it gets.
I'll try. Maybe.
I'm sure there's some conch shell he can speak into, and it'll somehow find us on air.
I'll try and get an English conversation with Mama. I'll ask his permission.
Yeah.
For some stage, I'll just ask him about the stones and all that.
Ask him about wrestling.
I'm sure he knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
Maybe he does. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Although if I say like, what do you think, Mama, about The Rock? That's it.
Which one do you mean, Paul? I have the red one. I have the shield one. Oh, you like the shield, do you? Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's the Mama update, and sadly there might not be too many more.
Well, I think it's peaked, to be honest with you, with ringing the police because the woman downstairs using voodoo to make my legs red.
No, they're not red. They're not red at all. They're just hot.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Oh, that's amazing. That
it's
is
weird,
amazing.
I've known him for about 2.5 years now.
Since he hatched. Since he fell from the skies.
But he was never this way until like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, obviously she got him. Whatever she's doing, it's working. Or maybe he misplaced his sanity stone.
He sat on it, went up his arse. He's got a really sane arse now. Sounds like Mama. I don't know. You're talking nonsense here, lad. What are you on?
All right, are we done with emails? I can't
No,
tell.
Joe's got to email.
I don't know how I can follow that, but okay. I have an email from Scott. He says WWE and ending contracts. Good morning, Joe. When Barry went out to the club last week, do you think his mates actually showed up this time, or did they invite him along and then change where they went to without telling him again?
Hang on.
It's a bit harsh.
What's that based on? That's a story I told like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think that happened a long time ago. Anyway, thanks for that unnecessary attack.
On me.
Do you think part of the reason that Alberto Del Rio is being constantly beaten by Batista is because he's openly talked about going back to Mexico where his contract ends later this year? The WWE tends to do one of three things when someone's contract is ending. Either they give him a push, thinking they can re-sign him, they start burying him if they think he's going somewhere else, or the third is, if they don't see any value in them, they let them fade away until their contract expires, and future endeavour them. Thanks, and have a great weekend, Scott. P.S. You nailed what was going to happen to Cena at the Elimination Chamber last week. Nice job. Well, it's fairly obvious. But yes, the contract thing, I mean, they've been beating Del Rio for ages, even when they were trying to push him. He kept getting beaten. I don't know, I think they're just incompetent. Yeah, they do generally will bury, fade out, or I don't know who they push to get to re-sign. Can't really think of anyone.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I suppose so.
A rare example, though. Generally speaking, it's the other way.
Yeah, because essentially, I mean, you don't have any choice. It's either re-sign with WWE or fade into obscurity of your own sort of volition. So
I'm not sure what the deal is with Del Rio. He seems to always be threatening to quit, you know?
Yeah, it's never really been right with him in WWE.
No.
Thanks for that, Scott. I also have an email from Steve. Who says, subject cancelling the network. He says, a Bay Area checking in. What's the ideal amount of time someone should spend on the phone if they have a complaint or want to cancel the network? I feel like people are quitters if they spend less than 2 hours trying to get through to someone.
Jeez.
9 minutes.
Yeah, well, hang on. It depends on what he means, because you're not allowed to, really, are you? If you sign up for 6 months, you sign up for 6 months. You can't, you know.
Yeah, but I think it's, if you've got problems with it, if it doesn't work, that kind of thing.
I don't know. I think I understand people's frustrations, but I think if you're cancelling within the first free week, I think that's pushing it a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't have the patience to talk to customer care for longer than a half hour. So
no,
I'm the polar opposite of Steve.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait for that long. Thanks for that, Steve. Paul, any thoughts on dealing with customer service phone calls?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've really only ever had good experiences.
How long do you make people wait?
I don't make them wait at all. I just get them on, get them in, get them out. Boom.
Maybe they should get you in on WWE Network.
Yeah.
More like WWE Net.
NOTWORK.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's my emails.
No, that's even better. WWE NOTWORK. Is that the way you phrased it, Barry?
No, because mine was like I was going for deliberately bad, so I said more like WWE does not work or doesn't work. So about as far from network as possible.
I think NOTWORK is really good. Well done, Joe.
Cheers,
well done,
thanks.
Joe.
Thanks.
There's our episode name.
Yeah.
Or the Ellen DeGeneration X. You're really on top form today. I'm impressed.
Knocking these out. Yeah.
There was a third one as well, which I've already forgotten, sadly.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that was, but WWE NOTWORK is pretty good.
What's up next? News?
Pay-per-view. Yeah, pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view had one really good match on it, one okay match, and I don't remember anything else that happened.
They had 2 really good matches on it.
The Elimination Chamber was alright. It didn't blow me away. You really liked the Elimination Chamber match?
Yeah.
I feel like those matches I think I'm over it now. I just can't enjoy them anymore. They're all too samey.
I quite like the action in it, but the whole sort of layout of the match I just found a bit boring.
Yeah.
Seems to get a long time with like Christian, Sheamus and Cesaro in there before they got the other lads out.
I think the Elimination Chamber was really good when it was new and exciting. But just in the last few years, there's been so many. They all sort of one for me. They all follow the same pattern, I think, where they do the break the glass spot every year. Someone gets bust through the glass. They do the splash off the pod. I mean, nothing feels new or fresh. It just seems like the same formula followed every time now.
Yeah, and given that it's going into WrestleMania, you always kind of know what to expect as well.
Yeah, that was true.
Which doesn't help.
I mean, it wasn't a bad match by any stretch, but I thought the Wyatt Shield match was exceptionally good.
Yeah, it was great.
It goes to show you don't need the gimmicks if you've got the characters and the build to the match.
How did Meltzer rate that match, by the way?
I didn't even think to check. I think it was 4.25, I think.
I have it open here. Hang on, the Mission Chamber.
4.25, I think.
Was it 4.25?
I believe so.
It was 4.25. Well, listen. That was a 5-star for me. I
have to rewatch it. I've been very bad at rewatching things lately. Cause, a match like that, I would like to sit down and watch it more than once and kind of take it all in, but I just haven't had the time.
It's the WWE Network, Barry. You can rewatch as many times as you want.
Yeah.
If it works.
I still, I mean, there's matches from last year that were really great that I've only seen once, like Brock and CM Punk and stuff, so. I've lots of TV shows and lots of wrestling to watch this week. I was watching an AAW show. They're from Chicago earlier this week, and that's... What?
AAW.
Oh, yes. Very good. And that's 3.5 hours long, so I haven't even finished that. Ring of Honor show and that. Ring of Honor TV was really good last week. Kevin Steen versus Kyle O'Reilly. AJ Styles versus Jay Lethal this week. That's probably going to be really good. So yeah, a lot of wrestling to watch. And a lot of good wrestling to watch. There's a lot of good wrestling on lately. Including this Wyatt Shield match. It reminded me of the first Shield match they had.
The TLC match?
Yeah, in terms of the craziness and the atmosphere. And
yeah, I think it was a little better than that, though. I think it was a little more polished. While being mental, and it was superb. I really liked this match.
Yeah, it's great, and the finish was Seth Rollins taken out, Dean Ambrose missing, and Roman Reigns fighting off the Wyatts on his own. Broke out his sister Abigail, but was eventually overwhelmed and pinned, which I thought was an interesting finish.
It reminded me a little bit of, and you guys might not remember this match, but there was a 3-on-3 elimination match in TNA many years ago where it came down to Team 3D and Johnny Devine against Hernandez.
Yes.
And they did it Hernandez won in that instance, but they did a really great job of the valiant, strong babyface Survivor fighting off the other three heels, In another way, it reminded me of sort of Shawn Michaels in the Survivor Series in 2003, where he was the last one on his team, fighting valiantly only to be beaten at the end.
Yeah, great match.
And yeah, I thought Roman Reigns, sometimes you get the feeling maybe he's being covered by the other two because the other two are so good. But when he was on his own here, I thought he was really good. I thought he was superb.
Yeah.
I like the little setup he does to the Superman punches where he punches the floor and then does sort of like a shotgun thing on his arm.
Yeah,
like loads it up, Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And I thought everybody was great here. Maybe not Eric Rowan, but people were giving Eric Rowan a really hard time even on the audio shows before when they're calling up the Wyatts, as Eric Rowan was the guy who's really not that good. But I mean, he's always been serviceable to me. I never see a Wyatt match and think, oh, Eric Rowan's coming in. Here's the match will stink from now for the next 5 minutes. He's always fine, Harper's a little bit better. And Bray Wyatt's certainly come a long way since that initial match with Kane.
Yeah. Although him versus Reigns wasn't the hottest shit in the world on Monday, though.
Well, that's true, but I think in the right setting, like here.
That was just a bad mix, though. Those two on their own was just a weird mix. They're not always going to be winners. But yeah, awesome match, two awesome teams. If that's the end of the Shield as a unit, I'll be sad, but...
Well, apparently they're doing a rematch. Is it on Raw?
Oh, yeah, they're doing a rematch on Raw, yeah.
So, Ambrose disappeared into the night somewhere. And Rollins got double chokeslam through the Spanish table.
Mm-hmm.
And Wyatt just, after Reigns speared Harper, Wyatt just clobbered him with a running tackle basically, and then pin. The spot, by the way, the spot where he powered out of the Sister Abigail was astoundingly good. The look on Bray Wyatt's face,
Yeah.
the eyes, something else.
The subtlety of the things they do with Roman Reigns kind of, it's amazing how it kind of contradicts all the other stupid things they do.
Yeah, it's true. And even if you think back, God, 5 years to how the product was in terms of wrestling quality, and now in 1 week we've had Cena, Cesaro in this match, and to a lesser extent they've eliminated Chamber, and even the Biggie Swagger match. I thought it was pretty much.
I thought that was a solid opener, and I liked Big E Cesaro the next night.
Yeah.
And NXT, NXT had one excellent match and two very good matches.
So for all the worry about the way WWE brings up talent through their in-house system, I think it's as good as it's ever been in terms of match quality now. It's
Absolutely.
Because my fear was that everybody's going to be homogenized and everybody will wrestle exactly the same, but it's working. Whatever they're doing, like the Shield. I know the Shield come mostly from indie backgrounds, with the exception of Roman Reigns, but everybody's really good. They've got a really strong core group now of workers, and it's
what
great.
else happened on this show?
Well, we talked about Jack Swagger and Big E. Jack Swagger, the latest in a long list of bloody mouth opponents for Big E.
Yep.
I really liked that match. Big E did a spear through the ropes, which was like Edge and Mick Foley back in 23. When I was listening to the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer was saying, that's that spot was like, and I expected him to say Edge and Mick Foley, because that's what initially came to my mind, the spear through the ropes. But what he said it was like Bas Rutten and Frank Shamrock, which was from a pancreas fight that probably 10 people have ever seen.
I totally agree with you, but pancreas. Pancreas.
Sorry, pancreas.
That's me of all people correcting
I know,
me.
sorry. Pancreas.
Anyway.
Which nobody will have seen.
I had no.
Really weird reference to make.
I don't even know what kind of ring they fought in pancreas.
Just a normal boxing.
Okay.
Ring. And it wasn't even a spear. They were wrestling basically, and they fell through the ropes. So it was nothing like that. It was more like the Mick Foley Edge one, which happened at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which Meltzer was probably at.
Who knows?
Well, so that match is really good. Big E's good. I like Big E. Big E. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, you're correct.
I like him. I thought that was. I wasn't looking forward to that much at all, but I watched it in its entirety and I thought it was pretty good. Excuse me.
We had a shitty women's match.
We had a shitty Titus O'Neil match against Young, who has a mohawk thing now.
Yep.
New Age Outlaws against
the Usos in like a Raw match.
In like a Raw 1998 match.
Yeah.
A New Age Outlaws match, if you will.
Yeah, if you will.
Batista against Del Rio in another
in a humorously bad affair.
That's what I call it.
Just endless chants and heckling and a bad match to boot. It's not like Orton versus Cena at the Rumble where it's like in a vacuum. If the crowd were better, you could probably say that was a good match. No, this match was bad, and it was worse the second night when they did it on Raw. Stunningly did it on Raw again. There was a Bautista chant, which is probably the highlight of the week. In a week of great moments, that was the greatest. So yeah, that's not working. And I believe that was it, other than the main event, which we discussed, which was it really picked up towards the end when it got to the final four, and Cesaro started doing some stuff. And
he did the swing on Cena, didn't he? In this
match? So that was good. But I mean, the thing about those matches is they do go very long, and it has that War Games Lethal Lockdown issue where the guys who were at the beginning kind of have to compete with the fact that everyone knows nothing's going to happen. Although, to be fair, at the very least, you can be eliminated before the others come in, and that has happened before, so that's good.
I'm going to be the one to point out as well that for a match where the point of it is that they're locked in the chamber, there's too much interference in this match.
Yeah, well, there was, yeah.
And it wasn't even done in a clever way, like Shawn Michaels hiding under the chamber and lifting the panel up that year.
Yeah, I was interested going into it because I was like, okay, so obviously the Wyatts are doing their magic trick to get in and beating up Cena. What are they doing to beat Bryan? Because I knew Orton was winning. There was no way Orton wasn't winning. I was like, so how are they screwing Cena? Does Triple H put the hammer through the chains? Do they do something like that? Like they did that one year with Goldberg.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, what's up with this? And then they just two people in the cage. More than two people, like 4 people altogether in the cage who weren't in the match.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the Wyatts, that one just made no sense to me because there's not been a history of them having magic powers, as far as I'm aware. I know that the lights go off when they come out, but it's not like Undertaker where the lights go off and my God, he's in the ring after 4 seconds. He's there.
No, but they teleport to the ring.
Well, I mean, they could have done the Shawn Michaels thing, but I guess because they do the lights out thing, they're like, look, let's try and hide the fact that we're having fucking 2 separate third parties enter the cage illegally, or not illegally, but it's sort of, even though they shouldn't be getting in.
Flipping the Kane just wandering out, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Kane was just there, stood on the outside of the ring in the chamber, and no one was like, Kane, could you please leave? There's a match on.
The great thing was that Kane hit Bryan laid him out and then turned around into an RKO, and he kicked out at 2. That was a great near fall. But the problem was, like, you could blatantly see Kane was laying on the floor in the cage, and he wasn't taken out. So the second he doesn't immediately roll out, he's getting back up and he's going to play into the finish. So you were basically just waiting for him to get back up and do something. And sure enough, he did eventually get back up and hit Bryan, who ate a second RKO. And it was funny because despite a pretty good night of wrestling, there's a lot of very sad people who they showed on camera, and Michael Cole pushing very hard that Bryan kept getting screwed and he deserved the title, and that led to a lot of speculation that he's possibly, in some capacity, maybe getting into the title match at WrestleMania.
It's quite funny that WWE, on the last traditional full WWE pay-per-view event, just had to screw the fans, and Bryan won last time.
Of course, yeah.
They did it 8 times in the summer. They're like, once more it'll be enough. Then they're not paid for it anymore anyway, so fuck them. And then Bryan got screwed out of the belt once again. And Michael Cole was like, how many more times does this have to happen? And it'll probably happen every time Bryan's in the main event until the end of the world. So that was Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Will you be watching again on the WWE Network?
Well, I'm not bothering. I can't be arsed setting it up over here, so I don't know.
Yeah, have you set up, Joe?
Nah.
No?
I gave it about 2 minutes to try in, and I was like, I really don't feel like defrauding these terms of service by entering a fake address. Seems like too much hassle. Also, I just don't feel like spending... currently, I do not feel like signing up for 6 months of a commitment that I, may or may not be able to keep up with. This is not arsed. Not arsed. I'll get it when it comes out over here properly.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's not really working yet, so...
I just feel like were I to get it, I would never watch it. And that's my biggest...
Yeah, but you watch the pay-per-views every month, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't watch them live, ever. I only watch WrestleMania and Royal Rumble live.
You can watch them...
You don't watch them live on the network?
Yeah, no, you do, and you can also not watch them live on the network. You can watch them
what's the situation with the... News? Wasn't there some sort of explanation of what's happening with pay-per-views on the network?
Well, no, it's the Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble aren't up yet because
they're 30-day.
The whole gimmick is that WrestleMania is the first one, so they're trying not to further piss off the pay-per-view providers by putting putting one of them up 24 hours later. But no, generally speaking, once they air live, they then go up like the next morning on demand.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
All right. Well, that's all I'd be paying for then. I mean, I don't have a problem paying whatever would be over here, like €6 a month or whatever. I'd pay that if you got all the pay-per-views that you could watch on demand whenever you wanted. So after I get in from work, I could put it on my TV, high definition pay-per-view.
It's probably going to be for me. I imagine that's the main appeal. I mean, if they announce that because of the new deal with Sky that the network over here will not have pay-per-view, I'm not getting it because the pay-per-view is the main thing. I don't like fucking pirating pay-per-views. I don't like watching shitty streams. Not just the quality of the streams, but also on my shitty laptop. And it's just like, no, I will happily pay a fair price, which I think £10 is more than fair, to watch it in HD on my PS3, every month. I think that's fair. And additionally, whack it on, have a little bit of background noise. I can, Monday Night War or whatever the fuck they're playing, or a random pay-per-view. I think that's a good little background thing to have on. Mm-hmm. But if they announce that they're not having the pay-per-views, I'm not getting it, because it's just, even though I do go back and watch things, I don't care enough to pay £10 to go back and watch the odd pay-per-view.
Well, that's the thing, is that I can already watch the pay-per-views in high definition on my TV on demand. It's just not legal. That's the only thing. Boom! Did I just say that out loud?
Oh shit!
Oh, he's all about himself. He's a street dweller. But so it's not that advantageous in terms of service to me. It's just that I would, if the option was just the ease of not downloading it, and even in terms of giving the company the money for the product they put out, if the pay-per-views are half decent, which oftentimes this year they were last year, and then that second half of the year they weren't. I don't have a problem paying whatever it is, €6. That's fine.
The other thing as well is, like, if they don't have the pay-per-views and it's just the on-demand stuff and the shitty original programming I'm never going to watch, like Countdown and Legends House and all the other shit that's going to pad out that live stream that I'm never going to watch. It's like, I've 4 or 5 shows on the go on Netflix currently. I've got a 30 video strong watch later queue on YouTube. I've got True Detective, and I've got a bunch of indie wrestling shows that I have to watch. Like, where, even if I was unemployed, where am I going to get the time to say, I'm now going to watch Judgment Day 2003 for a laugh?
That's the other thing as well. Yeah, I'm.
It's like, who needs all those out? Who needs all those? I mean, it's a fun novelty, I'm sure, because people I do know who have it are loving it, and it is fun. But it's like, after a while, when are you actually going to get time to sit down and watch old shows for no reason? You know what I mean?
This is also what I tweeted about during the week, saying that the network's out, but I could have watched No Way Out 2004 any day since the pay-per-view aired.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just the ease of access that you're on the portal where you can see all these shows. You can just click on one and it starts playing. But the actual drive to watch the shows, I could have watched any of these shows at any time in the last 10 years, or whatever. It's not going to make me want to watch these shows all of a sudden. I have no interest in watching any of these old shows, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch whatever Breakdown in Your House 98 with draws against whoever. It's I just not interested in it.
I'd also hope that, well, I wouldn't hope, but in 5 years' time, if their television deals as we know them collapse, and then Raw and SmackDown's on there as well, or over here or whatever, that's basically what I want is I'm willing to pay £10 or £20 a month to watch the main WWE programming in HD on my.
I don't see them ever having that though.
On my telly, because the reason I say that is because I am never ever going to pay for Sky Sports just to watch WWE.
Oh, definitely no.
Because that's the only reason I would be getting Sky Sports, and it's ridiculous that I would never.
I have Sky Sports, but it's for the footy ball.
Well, exactly, yeah, because you've other things. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's understandable. But if you're me and you're like, okay, I don't watch sport, am I going to pay, like, what is it, like an extra? How much is Sky Sports a month?
Fortune.
It's not really that expensive. Yeah. Sky Sports, not the HD pack. I don't have Sky Sports in HD though. I mean, it's standard. What is it, like 10 a month or something like that?
That's reasonable.
But I also get BT. I also have the BT Sport package, which I do have in HD, and that's €20 a month, which I pay for high definition football. It's going to have the Champions League, all Champions League. Is it from next year going forward, Joe? When's that deal come into effect?
Don't know, 2015, yeah.
And I get all the UFC shows in HD. That's pay-per-views and Fox shows, and so that's worth the money to me. €20 a month for that. That's basically my WWE network. Is I get all the pay-per-views in HD plus the footy ball.
Yeah, thing is, a lot of streaming services, obviously, they're based around new content. You're getting a lot of new stuff, like Netflix. You might get the latest movies or TV shows or whatever. WWE Network is, at the moment, it seems to be like 95% old stuff.
I'd be interested if it was if some of the original content on the live stream was more Legends roundtables. Apparently, some of those are up on the on-demand service for the network.
Well,
the old ones from the Classics on Demand, they're
the
up
thing
there.
as well is when you can compare it to a Netflix, the thing is Netflix doesn't produce a lot of the content itself.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yeah.
has to. By the way, I'm just on Figure 4 online here, and one of their articles is when they put up an article when you're not logged in, and it's sort of their preview of
Their plugs, yeah.
Yeah. They have one here, a look in depth at the debut of the WWE Network built WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is spelled WRSETLE MANAI.
Jeez.
That is how they spell it now.
I noticed so many spelling errors on that website. It's actually really crazy for the foremost wrestling site.
Just on a complete tangent, what do you guys subscribe? What do you get from the Wrestling Observer? Is the newsletters, reading the board, the audio?
That is an interesting question because I don't really know the answer to that anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of audio content. I like sort of
on
a Tuesday morning on my commute to college. I like to listen to just a Raw review, even if I don't always agree with it, and I often really don't. It's it's like my morning radio almost. And some of the contributors I find interesting enough. There's a new writer for. I don't think Brian Alvarez actually does anything for his own his own newsletter anymore, other than actually edit it.
What does he do?
He's the host. It seems like his primary function these days is as the producer / host / interviewer /
He always talks about how busy he is and too busy to do things. But then he does his show and it's up 5 minutes later. Like, what is he doing in between? I don't know what he does.
I don't know.
And I get the feeling that he's not really as well connected as Meltzer is. I don't want to say that he's piggybacking off Meltzer, but to an extent he is.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like I haven't actually had an active subscription. I just use other people's subscriptions. What a pirate I am. But
did you just say that out loud? Boo.
Oh, is this thing on?
You're a man, Barry.
But no. But no, I mean, it's like it's okay. It's like whatever. I find it better than almost any others out there. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm a wrestling fan. I gotta read something. There is not a whole lot of really great options out there. I have tried some of the other premium wrestling services, and some of them are okay. Not ones I'd go back to though. So whatever.
Sure.
It's.
I quite like reading the newsletters. The only thing is, I feel like the same thing as when I used to subscribe to Power Slam magazine, which I haven't bought now in quite a while. Is given the advent of like the daily audio, that a lot of the news and reviews are outdated very quickly. And even though he still drops the odd scoop in the newsletter, sometimes just a lot of his sort of stuff that's already been covered in depth on the audio and that sort of thing. And I quite like the audio that they put up. I like the daily shows. Don't listen to the Lance Storm anymore.
No, God, no.
Oh my God, what a stupid idiot. So that's fair. That's just because I'm on the website here. I was just thinking. I like to peruse. What's the word I'm looking for? Peruse. I'm not with it today, folks. I apologize. I've had a lot of my mind the last few days. I like to peruse the board because sometimes you get the odd scoop on there, but a lot.
Yeah, the board is in some ways it is very much the NeoGAF of wrestling, but sort of a bigger cesspool. Yeah.
There's a lot of very strange people on there. So I don't get involved in anything. I just like to see what the latest thread tiles are, see if there's anything interesting in terms of news. Like I won't go into any of their fucking game boards or they have their thing where they're I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Freaks. No. Anyway, what are we talking about? News.
I've never been on that forum or read any of the newsletters. So.
Oh really? What do you do?
I download
the audio
from a torrent site.
Really?
Yeah. I subscribed once for like a month or something.
And you don't do it anymore?
I only listen to Brian and Dave, like the Raw review and pay-per-view reviews, so
okay.
It's like 5 shows a month, it's not really worth it.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the best ones. I only subscribe to 3 of the feeds. I don't subscribe to the main feed. I get Wrestling Observer, Figure 4 Daily, and Brian and Vinny. That's one for me.
I gave up on Brian Vinny a while ago.
I still like Brian and Vinny when they have Craig on. I like
Craig, yeah.
And of the Figure 4 Dailies, I'd only listen to the Todd Martin one, and if they have a good show on. Because I really like Todd Martin.
I like Todd, but I get annoyed when Brian's like bullying him with his stupid fucking opinions and awful logic. So,
this is true.
and I don't think Todd's good enough at like standing up for himself or debating. So and it annoys me.
Yeah,
so I usually agree with him.
Yeah, I really like Todd Martin, and I can't listen to they do a weekly call-in show.
Oh God, no!
I can't listen. Although
I also never listened to that one Austin did, because what the fuck would I,
No, exactly. This is something I wanted to bring up for quite a while now. By the way, I know Barry's listened to it, and I want to recommend it to Joe as well, because it's one of the and I want to recommend it to all of our listeners as well. It's really, really exceptional. And if we can't find the link, I have it, so I'll upload it and send it out to people. Is the best of 1999 to 2001?
Oh yes,
Observer. Do you ever hear this, Joe?
No.
Oh my God! It has to be heard to be believed.
What is it?
It's a compilation of clips from about 99 to 2001. From the very old Wrestling Observer
Okay.
radio, where Dave Meltzer was the host and Brian Alvarez would call in. And so much of it is people. It's so interesting because it's these radio shows at about the time WCW was going out of business, and it's just so many people calling in, going, "How do you know that it's going out of business, Dave? I've heard rumors on websites that so is happening, that they're going to relaunch with." And Mess would just be like, "It's going out of business, lads. Stop deluding yourselves."
That still happens today with TNA.
I know, but it's so funny this in retrospect. And there's this one guy. Is it from James from
Kentucky?
You have to hear this to believe it. This guy who'd call in, probably every day, with just the stupidest questions. Not a trolling, by the way. He was obviously
He was obviously not all there, yeah.
sad Southern. You can imagine what he would look like. He would be "It's real to me, Davitt" guy.
What's his name? James from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You sure it's not Jim Cornette?
Not James Harrod.
Not James Harrod, no. It's not James Harrod because he was consistent. He actually kept in touch.
Oh! I don't have a go at Harrod.
I will have a go at Harrod.
Do you want? Yeah.
So yeah, it gets to the point where he calls some other radio show, complaining that because they won't let him on the radio show.
On like the same network with the producers or something.
Yeah, and they have the producer of Wrestling Observer Radio on, and he's having to explain to this guy how Dave told him he doesn't want him on the show anymore because he hates him. And I don't know. What's it like? 2 hours long or something?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours long. People calling in and saying, Judgment Day's a Sunday, and the Angle and Benoit ladder match. Can Benoit get the medals because his arms are so short? Things like that. Lots of that.
Honestly, I would say I've been subscribed to Wrestling Observer now since like 2009. It's one of the most interesting and funniest podcasts I've listened to of any kind ever. And if you're a wrestling fan and were at around the time, like around 99, 2001, like the three of us, it's a must listen. It's incredible. And I actually found about it because I'd seen someone had tweeted Barry a link about it.
Yeah, I asked for the link, yeah.
And I had downloaded it from there as well myself, not knowing what I was getting into. And oh my God, it's a treat. It's incredible. It's incredible. Everybody listen to this. You must listen to this. I'll try and hunt down the link, and I'll maybe try and tweet it from the ChairShot Podcast Twitter. But it's a must listen. And I mean, Barry will back me up on that.
It was great. It's very, very amusing.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Yes, well, we're on the subject of news. That's where we are now. We've discussed the network and that. I think we've put that.
Yeah, it was broken a bit, and it went down during NXT. Is my understanding of it.
People are skeptical for Mania. Time will tell. I'm also very skeptical for Mania.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons.
It's worrying for sure.
What else is in the news this week?
Breaking news: John Cena, after they did that injury angle on Raw, he actually injured his groin, and he's working through a groin injury right now.
Seems to be always injured, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Just looking at today's Saturday update on Wrestling Observer. Not that much news today.
No.
Dolph Ziggler was on Twitter today complaining that they edited out the "We Want Ziggler" chants from
Yeah, go on, keep digging.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
People are saying that maybe it's a work, because it wasn't there talk that they're going to put him with Miz in a team or something.
Oh, yeah, the disgruntled loser team. What a great team to be in.
Angry wrestling nerd.
Yeah, so whatever.
I saw his tweets this morning myself, and he was like, "Good job, idiots." Was basically the tone of it. It wasn't even like, "Oh, there was chance that for whatever reason got edited out of whatever." It was very aggressive and good job, WWE. Stupid. So maybe we'll be hearing Taz going, "This Ziggler guy's all pat himself. He's a former moniker of Ziggler." So that was Newsy Poozies. So Batista says, I don't think we're going to talk in depth about SmackDown. So here's the situation. As of the most recent set of television tapings, the current rundown for WrestleMania is Batista versus Orton versus ? Ooh? And the speculation is that perhaps it would make sense for Daniel Bryan to be inserted into that match, because on SmackDown, for those of you who didn't see it, Batista did go full-on heel on SmackDown. He came out in a fucking preposterous outfit. I love it.
A flat cap that would make Sheamus blush, shades, nose stud, white wife beater that was too tight, and the classic 2014 tight jeans. Ridiculous. Talked about how he didn't come back to be liked. Talked about how he could beat up everyone's heroes. Dolph Ziggler came out and called him a dinosaur, so he then promptly beat Dolph Ziggler in about 5 minutes. So that's a heel. So, you would think that seeing as now it's a heel versus heel match, that surely they'd be adding Daniel Bryan to it. But the curious aspect of this is that Daniel Bryan, as of Monday, called out Triple H for WrestleMania, which seems to suggest he's not going in the title match unless he's doing double duty, which would be unusual. So that is the current situation. It's all very up in the air. And to make things even more up in the air, it feels like Monday will be the culmination of the CM Punk debacle, as they are in Chicago. And he's either going to be there or he's not. If he's not going to be there, he's probably not going to be there.
So he's going to be there, or he may not be there.
Well, the point is, if he's not there, he's not going to be anywhere anytime soon.
Oh. Okay.
The one thing I would say about
he won't be there.
But Bryan is that they didn't explicitly state that he would be fighting Triple H. When he challenged Triple H was like, "We'll find a place for you." So I think they have a little bit of leeway to put Bryan in. Yeah. Whether it be through being Triple H earlier on the card or whatever. They've had him doing double duty a lot lately, actually, anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you want to read into that.
Oh my goodness. I'm just retweeting something here. Very amusing tweet relating to the WWE Network.
Hey, it's Meltzer.
Look at that outfit.
He's dressed like a 4-year-old child.
Really good hair.
Oh my god.
Also, it's like a 210-pound Mick Foley.
Anyway, what were we talking about? CM Punk.
Yeah, Punk. That's it. The other thing about Raw this Monday is if Punk's not there, how hard is that going to be to endure watching with the fans chanting CM Punk for 3 hours? Yeah.
Well, their theory apparently is to book a really good show with the Wyatts versus the Shield, Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker on it, and probably some other good matches.
It doesn't matter because WWE fans today are such twats. I saw you read also this week, Barry, the story of the guy who got... Did you hear about this, Joe? The guy who got kicked out.
Oh, God, yeah.
Was it Raw or Raw?
He got kicked out of Raw because, Raw was kind of the typical very trendy crowd of late, where they're chanting this, that, and the other thing, chanting for CM Punk. People, dudes with signs. This dude, some website, some free news with a Z site, gave him an outlet to give his side of the story after he was kicked out of this past Monday's Raw taping. Now, since CM Punk has left, there has been a number of reports of people being kicked out for having CM Punk signs, and they have almost all been debunked as totally spurious and not legitimate, and people trying to grab attention. This guy was legitimately kicked out. He had a number of signs, and he was one of those dudes trying to chant CM Punk. But in giving his side of the story, he just kind of really incriminated himself. Because I think most people would agree that WWE kicking people out for chanting CM Punk or having a CM Punk sign is asinine, is not a fair thing to do. So this guy tells his side of the story, and he's like, I had a sign that was like, I agree with CM Punk, UFC is greater than WWE. I missed my flight for NXT, so I had to watch this second-rate show. The best one, Ronda Rousey would armbar Super Cena and make him bleed. That was an actual sign he had. He had all these preposterous signs, so security had to keep coming and taking these signs, because he had like 10, he had over half a dozen signs. And
How's she going to make him bleed with an armbar?
I don't know. I think they were separate.
So it'd be like both. Yeah.
Over the course of one match, yeah. So I think at that stage,
can I just interject and say I don't think Ronda Rousey has made any of her opponents bleed in UFC.
So well, Super Cena is such a pussy.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyway, I think at that stage, if security has to keep, because I think confiscating a sign is not a big deal, especially if it's something as
I believe he also
tacky as UFC
wrote something on the back of his shirt.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. He said, when John Cena came out, I held up my Rousey sign and turned my back. So he really sent a message, brothers. God. So this guy was the epitome of every annoying internet wrestling fan. So I think at this stage, he was creating enough of a scene, and security had to come up to him enough times that I don't think it's unfair that you were asked to leave. And judging by his letter, he complained, right? Because he was taken aside, and I think they had police come and tell him he had to leave. And he was like, "What? I spent $100 on tickets, and you're telling me to leave? Who spends $100? I think he said over $100, like 110 or something, to go to a show with the intent of winding up the management and the people who effectively own the building for the night, and then act surprised when they kick you out." It was such nonsense. It was so infuriating to read, and I had no sympathy for him whatsoever.
But it's like this is the culture now.
Yeah.
That people, I don't know whether it's because on Twitter you have the Brock Lesnar guy. I can't think of any other examples. But you have these fans who think of themselves as personalities now.
Yeah.
So there is this culture now of fans going to the shows and being the show, basically. Not like, can you imagine in any other culture, like going to the cinema and standing up during the movie and going, "Well, I've turned my back on this movie because De Niro isn't as good as he was in the 70s."
Yeah.
I mean, but you've paid your money. Like, they don't care what you think of the movie. You've paid your ticket already. So
The only other art form is in stand-up comedy that I can think of.
For
where
heckling.
people deliberately try and sabotage a show for their own enjoyment.
Yeah, but even in those cases, the stand-up is normally adept enough where they can make a witty remark back, and the person laughs, and the show continues.
It's not also they don't go to like the Apollo Theatre and spend like £80 on tickets. It's normally like £5.
You're thinking a comedy store, yeah.
But also, they don't pay $80 to go see Jimmy Carr or whatever, and then spend an hour complaining about Jimmy Carr and how bad Jimmy Carr is, and I'm only here because I couldn't get a Darrow O'Brien ticket or whatever. I mean, it doesn't happen. Like, why would you? And then you're mad, but I paid $111 to come and complain about the show for an hour and a half.
But but the thing is, and it's like, it's part of the wrestling culture that people assume that they are allowed. And you are allowed. They don't kick anyone out for booing John Cena. They don't kick anyone out for chanting "Boo Tista." But if you're holding up 15 different signs and security has to keep going over at you, and also, by the way, in this day and age, it's supposed to be a family-friendly event, and you're being an asshole, you aren't allowed to just do whatever you want. It's not, let's buck a few trends here and not have wrestling events be these barbaric, dick waving contests where it's like who can act like the biggest twat and create the biggest disruption. You know what I mean? It's like people forget that this is supposed to be a thing you go to for fun, to have a laugh. People taking wrestling so seriously. God, you guys.
I know, but like this is the thing now. Is your man paid $111, and I'm sure he's a really big wrestling fan. I'm sure he's a big WWE fan, and I'm sure he didn't go with the intention of annoying other people or ruining the show for anybody. But this is just the way these people think nowadays. Is they have their favorites, and if you're not one of their favorites, they're going to heckle you and harass you and annoy people, and that's the way it is now. And this is since the post-Mania show the other year, when the British fans who are to blame for this started this subculture of these smarky contrarian fans. And I mean, there's always been fans, like back in old WWF, ECW had sign guy and hat guy and so on and so forth. There's always been these fans, but they were never there to ruin the show, nor did they really take anything away from the show. They were always just there as fans, and they'd be like, oh, there's the guy with the hat or whatever. But now it's like, oh, I can be a Twitter or a YouTube personality by being the guy I was the guy with the John Cena's a faggot sign or whatever, and then there'll be John faggot guy sign at faggot guy sign, and faggot guy parody account. And it's, I don't know, it's just something that really doesn't sit right with me about that, because
it's just that thing of it's so sheepish as well. Like starting with the Mania crowd or the Raw after Mania crowd last year. Like now it's so. They were so funny, so now we have to be so funny because it's we want people to talk about us the way they talk about those fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I don't have a problem with people voicing their displeasure of if something is bad. By all means, chant whatever you want. But I just feel like now there's this there's like these chant sets that they have, where if something isn't top notch, they go to the old Randy Savage chant, JBL chant, and it's just so tired now. And I just feel like this Raw this coming Monday with CM Punk, who I don't believe will be there, I just think it'll be completely interminable, and there'll be CM Punk chants, because we've seen there was the hijack Chicago Raw Twitter.
Oh yeah, there's that thing going on as well. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's too meta for me, and it's too retarded for me, I'm afraid. Sorry, folks. To me, if I don't want to go see a show, if CM Punk's not going to be there, I'm simply not going to pay for a ticket and not go. I'm not going to pay the $100 to sit up out of my chair with my grubby hands, put them in the air, and chant CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Because what does that achieve? What does it achieve at the end of the day? You're €100 down, or dollars. CM Punk wasn't there, and I mean, what's the point of it all? What's the point of it all? Just so you could get your little satisfaction of being one of the 10,000 who didn't pay attention to the Del Rio match or whatever, and just chanted CM Punk. Yeah. Well, if that's your life and that's what you want, good luck to you. Well done. You did your little chant, and you had your little sign, you had your little CM Punk Chicago 2011 Best in the World t-shirt on, which is probably a size too small now after being washed so many times. And faded.
With all this said, the CM Punk thing is a whole fucking separate issue, because there's also the fact that, aside from everything we've just talked about, it's also a complete fallacy, because they didn't fire CM Punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the really annoying thing about that, as well as the self-indulgent, sheepish, trying to be cool nature of what they're doing. There's also the fact that it's completely pointless, because if he doesn't want to be there, he's not going to be there. He knows you want him there. They know you want him there. He doesn't want to be there.
They want him there.
And they want him there. Jeez.
Maybe it's the question mark. Oh,
maybe.
Spoilers. It's not. Or
No.
is he? No.
Or is he? No.
No.
Anyway, where else are we at in the news? We discussed the Wolves, didn't we?
Oh!
Yep. I did think it was funny. I watched Impact this week. I did think it was funny that they had to edit the entrances out of the Bromans Wolves Bad Influence match. Because, of course, the Bromans would have come out with the titles because this was a month ago.
Yeah.
And
they still use the Impact Live hashtag, don't they?
yes, I noticed that. This was taped in like the 2nd of February, I think, this week's show.
It was so long ago, Hulk Hogan's still on it.
Yeah.
Brother.
I think Hulk Hogan's still making his way up the Impact ramp that time he walked away from Dick the Carrot. Coming to Raw, brothers. They're at 2015.
But yeah, just quick rundown. Basically, the Wolves were booked on the Wrestle 1 tour, which is Muto's group in Japan. Basically, the gimmick for that TNA pay-per-view is the TNA titles are being defended against Wrestle 1 guys. And they booked the Wolves, and so the Wolves were going to win the titles in London, and Bully Ray, who likes the Wolves, it wasn't a slide on them. He was like, let's wait, these guys, let's pace ourselves here and put the titles on them down the road. And TNA's like, yeah, sure, good idea. And they're like, oh wait, no, we've taped 2 months of telly and we haven't put the titles on them, and they're leaving like the first week in March, so they had to put the titles on them in front of 4 people at a house show. So they had that footage on TV this week, but as I said, they had to edit the entrances, and the commentary this week was like blatantly added after the fact.
They all are, yeah.
Yeah, I normally think TNA do a good job of hiding it, but this week, for whatever reason, it was super noticeable. So yeah, that happened. That was funny.
It's really sad when you see the TNA house show attendance photos that come out nowadays.
Yeah, I mean the UK stuff is such a red herring as to what they're doing in the US.
I know. I mean, even the TNA house show I went to was very well attended, I must say. Although that was 5 years ago, so maybe not fair.
Yeah, the Dublin one. I don't know if they still do well, but I know sort of a couple of years ago, before they were taping TV over in the UK, that the Dublin
I'd say
show.
There was a good maybe 1,500 people at the one I went
to. Yeah, and some of the and they would go on to keep doing numbers like that, maybe even higher over here. They do okay.
They did break the TV rating, highest ever rating on Challenge TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roy Walker, what you gonna do, brother?
I'm trying to find the attendance figure for this show I went to.
Is this WWE SmackDown? Oh, it's close, but it's not right.
Oh, there you go. The show I attended, 2,500 people sell out.
Yeah, that's good.
Good show.
And now the Wolves doing the Wolves one titles on 2.5 people. Ashton Kutcher and
Charlie Sheen. No, not Charlie Sheen.
That little light bulb headed fella. Whatever his name is.
Oh, he's not even fat anymore.
And the woman. They don't have the little boy on anymore, either.
Wait, don't they?
No, he left. They have a.
So it's just the middle of the road unfunny one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Can I just point out, by the way, I do not watch, nor have I ever watched 2.5 Men.
No, neither do I.
Seems to know a lot about it.
I only know about it through my general knowledge of pop culture.
Okay, because Paul is so wrapped up in that zeitgeist.
The fuck is Seinfeld and Frasier? What you do with scrambled egg? What? What is that? Is that the theme song for?
I'm aware of the irony of appearing on television to destroy it, so nobody will point that out. Butchered that line from The Simpsons.
No,
by the way, Paul, if you want to know what Frasier is about, even before The Simpsons got shit, even in the heyday, they essentially Sideshow Bob was Frasier. Like that was it. It went
murdering
from. The only difference was that he murdered people. Other than that, they're the same character. They went from having the same voice actor to they had that one episode where they had his brother played by his brother from Frasier. And I think from every episode after that, it's like Sideshow Bob drinks fancy wine and is really intellectual and understands psychology. So if you want to know what Frasier's like, just picture Sideshow Bob the sitcom minus the murdering. That's Frasier.
Well, I don't want to know what it is.
Okay.
I know he's a highbrow.
Yeah.
Knob, basically.
Yeah.
It's just the whole scrambled egg thing.
Okay, so the closing theme song that plays over the end credits, those are the lyrics. It is quite confusing because it's basically Kelsey Grammer singing a sort of jazzy tune about Those eggs are all up.
With my head of blues, you call it tough salad, and scrambled eggs. Oh, quite
Ooh.
like this.
Mercy.
Yes,
Keep up with your views.
Hey, like I said.
Don't know what to do with this.
Isn't toss salad when you eat someone's asshole out?
No.
How do you... oh. Hello.
I don't think you'd like Frasier, mate. It doesn't sound like your kind of show at all.
I think that's what tossing somebody's.
But yeah, they play that song for some reason. They play that song over the end credits every.
Well, there you go. Urban
every-
Dictionary just defines toss your salad as
Yeah,
when you spread your ass cheeks and someone licks your bumhole.
It's also a salad that's been tossed, though.
Yeah. Also,
But this is Frasier we're
you do-
talking about. This is Kelsey
you do
Grammer.
realize that tossing is a method of preparation of salad.
Yeah, but this is Kelsey Grammer we're talking.
What, the scrambled eggs then?
That's that woman from True Detective's tits in 10 years.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Go on.
Oh,
We
no,
don't
hang on.
lose
That's fried eggs I'm thinking of. Oh, I've ruined it. That scrambled egg. What else happened? Is that all the news? Is there any news?
Anyone die?
No.
No.
Great Mood is going to be on TNA. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Raw.
Oh.
Raw.
I was raw.
Go on, talk about it.
Talk about it.
Raw.
The scrambled egg.
What happened on Raw? The Undertaker returned.
He did. He's got a little ministry beard back.
Oh, and Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it funny how much of an afterthought that is? Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
No,
It was
he didn't say
really.
anything.
It was really
What's
underbacked.
the
When he
network?
came out and he just did a network plug.
Honestly, I think he could have come out and said anything, and fucking Andre could have risen from the dead, and he could have slammed Andre again and leg dropped him back to the underworld, and it still would have been a complete afterthought. I don't think too many people care about Hogan anymore. Yeah, I mean, he got a good reaction when he came out and all that, but
Yeah, it didn't feel like a big thing though.
no, it really didn't. He didn't take his sunglasses off either, because when he does, it's a little like when they open the Ark.
Can't look directly into his eyes. Or you age years within seconds.
He looks a bit like one of those guys half melted though. Yeah, he actually does remind me a little bit of the guy at the end of Indiana Jones and the which one? What's the third one called? The Last Crusade.
Mm.
Yeah, the old knight who's like, oh, we must choose the right goblet indeed.
He's a bit like Harrison Ford as well, in that he's old, but he still pretends to be an action hero.
Yeah.
They need to get him a Shia LaBeouf to sort of...
They need to get him in the next Expendables movie.
Could happen.
Hulk.
Now that he's back in the proper wrestling company.
Steve Austin was in the first Expendables, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't do much in it. A little sad. He wasn't very badass. He was just a fighter. He didn't have any witty lines or anything. Just like, get your woman out of here. So Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, he just plugged the network. And as he was walking off, they just cut away to show you how to sign up to the network.
Yeah.
They're like, that Hulk Hogan is a real WWE original. Now here's 10 tablets. Install your thing on it. There you go.
Yeah, Hogan returned. After Batista and Del Rio had a rematch.
Yeah.
Del Rio won, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
With a roll up.
Yeah, because Orton did
Orton
a
distracted him.
sneaky distraction. That was interesting. Then Big E, Cesaro had a pretty good match. Ended with DQ. Swagger ran in and interfered, preventing him from getting a clean win.
Mm-hmm.
That was alright. What else happened? John Cena and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family had a confrontation.
Yeah.
It was sort of nothing, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, they injured his leg.
That's why they kicked his leg out of his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was okay. Christian Sheamus had a match. That's it. Nothing,
I skipped that. As much as I enjoy both men, I skipped that because come on.
Yeah, the Shield and the Wyatts had a confrontation backstage, which led to the main event, which was Reigns and Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Bray Wyatt won.
He did. Well, DQ after a run-in by the Shield.
Oh yeah, they did the same finish twice, like within an hour of each other, because they also did that in the Cesaro Big E match. Swagger ran in. They seem to be heavily teasing a Cesaro face turn, so
Yeah, that's good.
that'd be an interesting match at WrestleMania, him versus Swagger. I mean, I don't know who it would do particularly well. I think people like Cesaro enough that they wouldn't shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good.
I mean,
sorry.
The big payoff of that would be Cesaro swinging Zeb about, which would be pretty good.
That'd be good.
Well, yeah. How would that tie into the whole kind of racist angle? Is he going to swing him straight into Mexico or something? Zeb's going to be like, oh, shucks, now I got to get back across the border.
Yeah, you could have some funny little vignettes.
You could spin him and he goes kind of crazy a bit and he thinks he is a Mexican.
Oh, maybe he could bump his head and he gets one of those syndromes where people...
Well, he did bump his head just the other week.
They have a stroke and then they start speaking in a foreign accent. He could have that.
They did that, though.
When?
He didn't speak. When Big Show knocked him out, they could have done that.
Yeah, but now we're saying they can do this.
They can have another go.
An unrelated angle involving a different person with not a similar result is not really...
If they should have done that the first time. He's going to bonk his head every month until they do it right.
Maybe he could do it a few times and the accent could change sort of each month.
Maybe Big E could do the sort of Cali vice grip, but between his pecs. So he's just squeezing Zeb's head.
Just plug a nipple into each ear.
Like an iPod earbuds. Just vibrate them so his theme song is playing at the right frequency through. Oh, madness. Also, Daniel Bryan beat Kane.
Daniel Bryan beat Kane in quite a long match.
I don't need to see this match again.
Kane was wearing slacks and shoes.
And a vest.
Yeah, and a vest.
He looked like an English holidayer. All he was missing was a little the little handkerchief on the head.
Yeah, needed that. And Bryan also challenged Triple H to a match at WrestleMania. And also confronted him backstage until he was emasculated by Stephanie McMahon, who's about twice his size and quite imposing.
Yeah.
So the crowd didn't seem to be that into the idea of that match, to be honest.
Nope.
Neither are most people.
I thought Emma was pretty good on this show, though.
Oh, I skipped that.
You did? I thought she was pretty good. She got a good finishing move.
She was good on NXT.
A little, whatever, arching neck gimmick she's doing. I like her theme music as well. She had bubbles as well. Big bubbles all over during her entrance.
I don't like when Michael Cole does that thing like...
She's so fun!
Not even that, but it's like, Emma says that dancing makes her happy, and that's why she likes it. Like, it's like, she could be an extra in sort of that, what's that Father Ted episode, the Mrs. Lovely Girl pageant.
I thought you were going to say she could be an extra in that Strangest Village in Britain show.
Derek.
When she comes out and he's just like, he's a name.
I love Bubbles. It's my favourite.
But it's just when she comes out on Raw and it's the fake laughing, and I tell you what, Santino does not help as well, because it's like Santino is just the definition of lame, silly walk, silly dance comedy, and it's just it's fake laugh. The Santino,
when Emma's doing the Santino walk,
yeah,
shuck you, duck you.
Yeah, the match wasn't. It was like okay, but it's just like Summer Rae. You can still tell is super green, so they sat in a hold for a while. A couple of holds for a couple of whiles, and people liked her finisher at least, which is like a bridging.
That's
thingy.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and they reacted to that. They reacted to that better than the entire shtick she does. So what does that tell you?
Well, she still does a little dance when she's putting the hold on.
Yeah.
Aaron
I wasn't a big
Paul,
fan of the
so-
dance nonsense on NXT either, to be honest.
Well, I'd never watched on NXT, so I don't know.
But yeah, that was that match.
I don't think the fans are going to take too well to Aaron Paul next week, I gotta say.
Yeah, they should though. He's great.
But you see, he's not CM Punk, unfortunately.
Are you sure?
Hang on a second.
Maybe he is. Hang on.
Yeah, that's P. Paul Phil. Aaron Phil. Bro.
Aaron Paul Phil Brooks. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
He's too jacked to be mistaken for CM Punk.
What is he going to do on the show?
Drive a fast car through the entranceway like John Cena used to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then The Undertaker put a pen on Brock Lesnar's hand.
Yeah, he stabbed him in the hand with a pen.
What an un-Undertaker-like thing to do.
Should've-
If you hadn't seen this segment, by the way, and someone went, "Oh yeah, Undertaker came back," he stabbed Brock Lesnar's hand with a pen. That's like an office incident, not like
Yeah.
the Undertaker would do to Brock Lesnar.
Undertaker, I'm afraid you have to fill out Form 3A. That's an office-related mishap involving stationery. The health insurance should cover it, but just we have bosses to appease.
Undertaker, we've been looking at the trading profit and loss accounts here, and we see you took out $1,000 out of the company's petty cash account for black beard dye.
Yeah.
So ask you what that's about.
Also,
The
very
Moxinil, what's this, Undertaker?
very pale white skin dye as well. He looked like Damien Demento.
A little bit, yeah. I like his look, Kurt.
Yeah, so do I. He was kind of faux ministry, a little bit bald ministry.
I think it works.
Ministry of Baldness. Yeah, anyway, so Brock Lesnar had been given an open contract which allowed him to challenge anyone he wanted, I think. Is that the thing
Something
they
to
made
that
up?
effect, yeah. They wanted a title match, and the Authority were like, no, and so the Authority gave them an open contract against anyone they want, and they were like, we're not going to take that because it's either a title match or nothing, and he was getting ready to leave, and then Undertaker came out because I guess he's not interested in the Shield anymore. It's like second or third year Undertaker's come back, not really asked about who put him out to begin with, and then he Brock signed the contract, gave him the pen in a disrespectful way, and then got stabbed. So that's don't disrespect people, Brock. That's the lesson.
It was one of the things where Undertaker just looked at the sign again, like, WrestleMania, and then the commentators were like, yeah, that's pretty. He doesn't need to sign the contract. He's looked at the sign, so that's official.
Well, I like the idea that he signed the contract. Instead of using a pen, he just used Brock Lesnar's body and he threw him at the contract really hard.
Like a big X.
Yeah, that was the signature. Well, Brock Lesnar went up like an X with his arms and legs.
Yeah, that was a great choke slam.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And so that's the match for Mania.
This could be an interesting one. Potentially great, but
I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
I think they'll pull it off.
Feel like Undertaker is probably not going to be in the best condition afterwards, though. As if he already isn't in questionable condition.
He's getting on. Yeah. Although I mean, on one hand, when you have bad hips and all that,
Yeah.
a year off doesn't even help. If
No.
you've got fucked up hips, you've got fucked up hips and knees. as well. But on the other hand, he's had a year off. So I think he'd be alright. I think he can go do his once a year thing, and that'd be alright.
Yeah. So that was Raw. Joe, you watched NXT, correct?
I did.
It was a good show, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I didn't think the main event was that great.
No,
Honest.
I didn't.
It was good match, but not blow away.
Bo Dallas just isn't really. He's still not super great in the ring. It was not. It was also not a super death, as we've talked about before. It was not a super death-defying ladder match.
New.
I think they'd be foolish to do one anyway on NXT. But it was a solid enough main event, and it was good to see Adrian Neville pick up the win. The first real British World Champion in about 108 years.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to him. I thought obviously the show stealer was obviously Sami Zayn versus Antonio Cesaro, IV, the greatest IV since Rocky.
Yeah, it was very fun. I haven't seen any of the previous ones, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. But
They
yeah,
were
very
good. They were good, but the only other one I'd say you need to see is probably the 2 out of 3 falls one. That was a really great match. That was the match where Sami Zayn got to do a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of his stuff that he used to do, and kind of got to show off and do things that people don't traditionally see. This one, I think this one was better though. So I think you saw the one. You know, this would rank up there with any of the great matches they had on the Indies, and they had a lot. Really spectacular match. Some really great selling from Sami Zayn at the end. They basically did the thing where Cesaro sort of had him on the back foot for the entire final 5 minutes. They were going back and forth having this awesome match, and then the last 5 minutes was just Sami Zayn dead, but he would kick out anyway even though he was dead. And then he'd get up and Cesaro would knock him down again and go for a pin, and then he kicked out at 1 and everyone went mad. And then Cesaro uppercutted the shit out of him and he'd crumble, and it was really, really great. Sami Zayn's so good at that stuff. Really, really great. So yeah, that is a go out of your way to see a match. I think that and the Wyatt Shield match is you're going to want to see that if you're making your little notes for your match of the year tracking. That needs to be on there.
It's quite funny. My brother, again, who for whatever reason just recently got back into wrestling, I don't know why, he said this. He said it was like a Ring of Honor match.
Weird, that isn't it?
He's now watched Ring of Honor since about 2006. So I don't know where he got that from. But that's what he said. He said it was like a Ring of Honor match.
But it was in the sense that they, Sami Zayn and Cesaro both, they do stuff that you don't traditionally see in a WWE. So Sami Zayn actually went in this match for his through the ropes tornado DDT on the floor thing.
Yeah.
And Cesaro caught him with an uppercut midway through when he got hung up. He actually did hit that move in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Got like the biggest pop.
You know something? I just have it on now. By the way, the highlights from Sami Zayn and Cesaro. I've never watched a Sami Zayn match in NXT.
As Sami Zayn.
Well, of course, I've seen El Generico. As Sami Zayn, I've never watched.
Oh, really? I mean, he all of his ones are good in the sense that, he can have a good 2-minute match, but really the Cesaro ones are the only ones where I'm like, oh, you have to see them. The Bo Dallas one was good in the sense that it was, he firmly has that crowd. They want him to be the champion, he's gotten over very well there. So that was good for an atmosphere sense, but really it's only the Cesaro ones. I mean, the 2 out of 3 falls one and this one are well worth seeing. It's going to be very interesting when he gets on the main show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he should probably be brought up soon enough if he's wrestling someone the likes of Cesaro on NXT. I mean, Cesaro, of course, hasn't been a big deal since very recently, but that still means something if you can have a good match with Cesaro.
There was also a bunch of sort of filler NXT nonsense, the type of stuff that it's the reason I don't watch NXT.
Mm-hmm.
NXT has TNA's cyclical structure, but multiplied by 10. Like, you might go 2 weeks without seeing Sami Zayn, and those are the weeks when you'll get stuff like the Ascension and Mojo Rawley and the other geeks who offer nothing. Because this was 2 hours, there was a lot of that. The good matches got lots of time, but there was Mojo Rawley and CJ Parker and Too Fucking Cool against
the Ascension versus Too Cool. Oh man, that felt like an indie match, but
yeah, Stone Cold Scott Taylor out there.
But one of those ones where they have Doink the Clown and
exactly, yeah. Former hardcore champion Scott Taylor.
Did you hear the breaking news, Joe? Obviously, you've heard about the football today. Barry won't have. Just to give Barry a little bit of background. One of the managers of the football teams, Barry, threw a headbutt at one of the players today.
Okay.
Breaking news. This is like Sheamus back in the day. Alan Pardew has accepted a formal warning from Newcastle United in relation to his behaviour today, and a club fine of £100,000.
Jeez. See, it's actually more believable in that context, though.
Did you ever
I don't
Sheamus
believe for a
attacked
second.
a ref that time, $500,000.
I don't believe for a second he makes or was fined that much. But I believe he makes it over the course of a year. But yeah, that's bad. What did he do when he was coming off the pitch?
Well, the ball went out of play, and one of the opposing players went to retrieve the ball quickly since his team was behind. So he sort of pushed Pardew out of the way. So as he was coming back, Pardew threw a headbutt at this player, and he was sent to the stands. So he's been fined £100,000 now because of that. So that's quite interesting.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah, NXT. Paige and Emma was very good as well.
Shucky ducky.
I've not really seen much of either of them in NXT, but both very good in the ring.
I've not seen either of them, except for when I've seen a vet on Raw.
I'd say that was the second best match behind Cesaro.
Better than the ladder match?
Not far off.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, MM Page was good, yeah. But, I mean, better than any Divas match on TV in God knows how long.
Oh, definitely.
Anything else to cover today then?
I watched Impact, but it wasn't worth talking about.
Okay.
What happened on Impact? Nothing. Gunnar and James Storm talked a bit. Wait, who? Austin Aries turned heel. You know.
Oh, God.
Oh, I saw that clip.
So here's the deal: it's MVP and Dixie are shareholders, or whatever they are. But Bobby Roode has 10% of the company that Dixie gave him, so he is also a booker.
Oh, God.
And it's Team Dixie versus Team MVP. I don't think the company is at stake. It's just a match, and both sides trying to enlist Aries, who's a face. He refereed Roode versus MVP in the main event, and he turned on MVP. So yeah. MVP can still go, by the way. That match was solid.
Can I just say as well that
Go on.
Austin Aries' spinning discus elbow on MVP was perfectly timed and and done. Really, really good looking elbow.
Well, yeah, he's a good wrestler. So.
It was outstanding. It was really, really good.
What else? Willow is coming.
Yeah.
He's pretty terrifying.
Jeff Hardy on drugs.
It's pretty weird. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. That was Impact. It was not noteworthy. They did the Kurt Angle Hall of Fame thing, and then Ethan Carter interrupted. Kurt Angle claimed that he had no ACL or MCL tear. He also could have stopped at "I have no ACL," which I believe was recently reported.
Can you imagine if John Cena came into Vince McMahon one day? It was like, sorry, Vince, can I have a word? Yeah. I don't want to be John Cena anymore. I want to go away for a month and come back as the old mass wrestler I was in my back garden.
El Prototypo.
Yeah, and I want to do that now. I don't want to be John Cena anymore. So you're gonna stop.
Why do they let him do this though? This is like
because he's got them by the balls completely. Because Jeff Hardy, they know, will just not come if he doesn't want it. You know, I
don't think he won't come, but I guess they're just like. I think the scariest thing is he says this shit and they go, "Ooh, interesting." Yeah. So I don't think he's forcing them. I think they think it's probably cool.
I think they have the feeling that they have to keep him happy. To
perhaps, yeah, he's such a valuable asset. Can't even come to their fucking biggest shows of the year in the UK.
Yeah, but
every single year they have to do a stupid injury or retirement angle with him.
Yeah,
he's a real life Aaron Paul.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jesse.
That's TNA. We discussed the Batista thing on SmackDown. Was interesting. Check that out. But other than that, I think we've talked about everything on TV worth talking about.
Yep.
So next week, what's on the tap for next week? So we will have I think some definitive answers. RE CM Punk and RE the WrestleMania main event after Raw on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's about it for this week's show. Is it not?
Yeah,
certainly is.
Gotta plug some things in. Alrighty, folks. Here are your plugs for the week. ChairShotPodcast.com. That's where you go for the show, for the archive of the show, and also for information on how to contact the show. There's a little email us button. Get in touch with us like Alex and Scott and all the other folks do. You can email us about wrestling. You can email us about TV, film, games, whatever. Ask us about life. Tell us about your life. Tell us what's going on. Give us something to talk about. As is evident by this episode in particular, we really don't care anything at all. The less wrestling related, the better.
We spent 20 minutes talking about Voodoo Man.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Mama this week, but then again, there was a lot to digest.
That would be the last Mama update for a while.
That was Mama Mania, basically.
Yeah, Mama Mania was running wild this week, brothers. For Twitter fun and games, you can follow at ChairShot Pod. You can follow at The Barry Lad, at Paul Griffin CSP, and at Griff Tannen. Probably be worthwhile to follow this week, as I said, so you can get some immediate feedback from us in the fallout of Raw, which is going to be a big one this week. What else is going on? I think that's it. I think that's all the plugs episode archive and whatnot. We are on YouTube. If you want to listen to these shows on YouTube, or send them to people on YouTube, if you can search ChairShot Podcast, we're up there. And yeah, I think that's everything. So, with all that said, it is going to be goodbye from me, Barry Murphy. It's going to be goodbye, Mr. Joe Towner.
Goodbye.
It's going to be goodbye, Mr. Paul Griffin.
Goodbye. This podcast was brought to you by loudyspeak.com.